Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today we are going to be messing with the normal stuff. It is a Friday, no new content for PC Mobile, but console players on the other hand did end up finally getting Merlantis today. So you guys got all that, the new 7 troops, most notably being the Azura as well as the Legend. As far as to console players, I would not really advise trying to get too many of them, like with gems and stuff like that. Definitely save your gems for Monday, because you'll be able to event gem for the new kingdom. But if you have any spare glory or gem keys laying around, then it would be a good time on console to throw them down, because you guys do have a new kingdom to mess around with. And of course that's Merlantis all the way over to the left here. Ends up giving a HP stat, and you can get it up to 2 if you happen to fully max it. Also, this will allow console players to finally be able to reach 10,000 stats as well, or skill, whatever the thing is called, your team score. It now is possible to reach 10,000 on console, as already has been on PC Mobile. And here's one team with one of them. Actually, Wave Rider, I don't believe console has yet until the following Monday. This will be your guys' events the following week. Other than Wave Rider, all the other ones like Azura and stuff are from the new kingdom. So let's go and get Valkyrie up first. Just rush it up and go straight into a nice board right here. It moved it on us, but we still have it on purple, and then we could just explode it off of Azura. If you would get full mana, that is, but we could just do that. And she generally gives most of the mana, if not all of it, back to the Valkyrie, which is pretty nice. Then we just go through a full AoE. Get a nice Valkyrie down somewhere, throw another one, and that will basically be the match right there. We get that nice stat reduction, and there's the cleanup that we need. Ooh. Is that enough now? I don't think there's enough boost ratio, so let me go buff it real quick. Let it do its thing. Oh, that's an extra turn right there. I didn't even take that the previous turn. Oh, of course he would revive, because why? Well, we'll go throw that down. Get a nice Rowan, and get a nice Rowan. Get a nice Rowan. Nope. Okay, well, let's throw that down. And it's team wipe. So hello everyone. Hello Henny. Hello Frag Hunter. Hello Pandemonium. Hello Zidicus. And hello Candy. Welcome all. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, today we're basically just going to be chilling. Messing a little bit with the new kingdom, of course. Or the kingdom that console ended up getting. There's a couple teams we've been messing around with it. None of them are too over the top. Azura, I do have to say, is my favorite. The Dragon Legend from the most recent kingdom has nice art. The troop itself isn't particularly good, though. The biggest problem I think a lot of this kingdom has is Submerge is pretty bad. It is not particularly decent of a stats effect to have on you. It's helpful, but it just doesn't do much, and some of the things that it should really work on, it doesn't. Like Kraken's tentacles hitting everything. It says it protects against everything that hits full AoE. Yeah, it doesn't stop against some things that hit full AoE, like traits and some skills that do like a stat reduction or some kind of effect. If it hits everything, it still ends up affecting it because it's not immune. Honestly, I feel like we should just give it impervious and then go for like a huge trait or something. Make it like an alternative version of Behemoth. And then it would probably be good. As in its current state, honestly, I feel like Behemoth in almost every instance is better than the new Leviathan. Okay, well, we got ourselves Christine X. This we could just throw on anything that he happens to use a lot. I kind of want to do it on green just because of how populated it is everywhere and how much he's going to be needing it. So we'll go get that off the board. Get a double extra turn right there. Another one. See if we have Shadow Dragon. No, we do not, but we'll just throw for damage. And he does, I do have to say though, he does have the one, he's currently the only viable troop in the game right now that has a movement capability, if you did want to move the enemy team. Though I haven't really found much of a use for it in many battles, because most of the teams that get used these days don't actually care what order they're in, with a few exceptions like a Forest Troll or a Scion and stuff like that. Those we do care if they're in first slot, but for most other stuff it doesn't really matter too much. Do I think they will add a way to farm crafting mats? Yes. Before the end of the year. Before the end of the year is questionable, but are they going to be adding it? Yes, they are indeed 100%, or at least they mentioned during a stream, that they will be adding a way to farm the specific resources from the Soul Forge. Will it happen before the end of the year? I don't think so. we're probably going to have one more patch before the end of the year, but it's likely going to be a mini patch. I don't think they're going to be doing something as large as maybe like a new feature that happens to be able to farm them. Unless the next patch happens to be updating like treasure hunt and some other things already existing in the game, then possibly they might add it. But yeah, I have no way of really knowing if they will or will not add it by the end of the year, but it definitely is something that will be occurring. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like early next year, I would assume, because probably around the time that they do end up adding the whole, when they do end up adding those resources, essentially what's going to happen, the ability to endlessly farm them, they're likely going to be adding the next wave of mythic weapon and craftable thing, you know, the mythic and the weapons. So when they end up doing that, they're likely going to add the ability to actually infinitely farm them, so that newer players and just people in general will be able to obtain them in a timely manner, instead of the current state of the game where it takes absolutely forever. And of course, the more they add of them, the harder it's going to be to keep getting them. But once they do that, it'll be pretty easy to farm basically any mythic in the game, which would be kind of nice. It's only a matter of time. Okay, let's just get the blue destroyed here, get our extra turn for free. And no, I needed that. I needed that. Okay, well at least this is right up front now. Leviathan, doing something useful. Now we just need the last little blow, down it goes, and now we can kill it with just about anything. Ideally we'd have a Shadow Dragon right now. Don't really have it though. We'll just take a red, I guess. Yourself a Dragon Soul, go from there, or he can give us that. That works too. And that is definitely a match right there. Hello, Philip. Welcome. Also, hello, Jeremy. Hello, 90C. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And hello, Humberto. Welcome all. Oh, and what is that? Cineroxia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You probably addressed this earlier this week, but you didn't catch it. But why would you buy more than one of the glory reward weapon? Oh, if you wanted the arcane trait stones, it still gives you the arcanes every single time. So for example, if you desperately needed red-blue trait stones, you could buy multiple of the Undyne's trident, and then keep getting those arcane trait stones. You still get all the other rewards. The only thing you don't get another copy of is the trident. So if you desperately needed blue-red, like for example, oh, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I did mention it as one of the troops 2 trait was Crimson Bat. But one thing I should probably mention right now too, for anyone on PC as well as console players, because it'll inform you for next week. But red-blue is the trait stone required for Crimson Bat, and Crimson Bat's going to be in the event key drop pool next week. And since there's going to be also a new legend in the event key drop pool, a lot of people are likely going to be throwing event keys. So if you don't already have a Crimson Bat upgraded, I would definitely advise stocking up some, because you'd be able to get it. Crimson Bat fully traded isn't really a necessity, but it is the only troop in the entire game capable of doing 2 times damage to every other troop. There isn't a single other troop capable of doing 2 times damage to everything. Crimson Bat, the final trait is it does 2 times damage whenever an enemy is missing HP. And unlike other 2 times within the game, literally every troop can be missing HP. Whereas, of course, other ones, like let's say Divine Slayer, that can only hit Divines and stuff like that. But Crimson Bats can hit literally anything, since everything can lose HP. So yeah, that's the main reason you would end up buying Undyne's Trident, basically, is to trait Crimson Bat next week. Also, I forget if Draculus uses it, but Draculus is also in the event key drop pool next week, at a very, 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 very low chance. But he is still indeed in there. Hey, event key from our defense, nice. Also, this current defense team I did for Guild Wars is absolutely getting crushed. Though in all fairness, it is the guild that's in #1 right now within my bracket. So it would somewhat make sense that it's getting crushed. We'll see if it gets any more win than that, but gosh, it only has 1 win right now. That failed a lot more. I knew it didn't use like the meta, but I didn't realize it was going to fail that bad. We're currently quite a bit down, but we have done like half our battles. So there's still a lot of room. Actually, technically, since we've done half our battles, we're almost at about the same amount of points as them, even though it doesn't really look like it. Yeah, we're just a very small amount behind, and hopefully once we get all those in, we'll be up to AW Ryan, and we still have 1 person who has done 0 battles during the week, so hopefully that will come in. If we do end up losing this Guild War week, it'll be the first time we've ever moved to Bracket 2, and then stayed in Bracket 2. Every single time we've always moved back up, but it might not happen this time. But once we get a new recruit, that will easily be possible. Alright, let's move the red over, get ourselves a Dragon Soul, go from there. Hello, Vangor. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'll get a Shadow Dragon down. Also, if there's any teams you guys want me to do, or any of the newer troops on console that you guys want me to mess with, or anything in general, feel free to leave them in chat. If you need help building any teams or anything. Hello, Amanda. Welcome. And I hope everyone's having a good day so far. Weekend's almost here. Also, Halloween's almost here. I should probably go out. I don't know. I've never really bothered doing much for Halloween lately. I feel like the last several Halloweens, I've just done, like, literally nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think one of the main reasons is because it's so close to my birthday. So, it's like, eh. It's like, it's right around the corner. I'll just keep waiting. Get all of our rewards. And we're up against a Ravix using the Double Wisp. Double Wisp isn't really as impressive anymore these days. Still gets a really solid start, but beyond that point, doesn't really get to do much. Unless it gets really lucky, which of course is possible. But looks like it's in our favor so far. Here's a Dragon Soul, then we could just keep messing around with everything we get from there. Would be a perfect moment for a Shadow Dragon right now. I think I'm just going to go for an Explosion, because I want to see what the board will be like after they Wisp it. Or we could get that. That's pretty nice. Okay, so let's go get our mana back up and do the same thing. Kind of wait it out. Okay, and see what he does. Just a double Wisp. He does get to Dispel, but we can easily get that back up. Looks like we'll go for Brown here into another Explosion. That's pretty much match. Actually, we don't even need that. We can just go for the wipe off the Wave Crash. And down they go. Against the Black Dragon. Another guild named Dragon. And the Teddy Bear. There's also some really funny names for guilds and player names, particularly guilds. When I was in one of the lower guilds, it was pretty fun just to look at all the guild names that you would see around you. Because some people have some really, really odd guild names out there. And you normally don't get to see them, or at least I normally don't get to see them, because anyone at the upper, like, brackets, or I should say the upper, like, 100-ish guilds, never really get to see all of the other guilds, because they're all clumped up to the top. All the active ones. Throw down Shadow Dragon. Get yourself a Dragon Soul down. Maybe another Shadow Dragon if we can. What to do? Okay, so we will go for the poke. Move that down. And we did get nice alignment. Very nice. Also great target for what it actually hit. And now this into an extra turn, then win. And exactly so. Except it's not enough damage. Yes, it is. There we go. And it's even an extra turn, even if it wasn't. How did you choose the name of your guild? I don't know. I was just randomly trying to think of a name. Then I thought dragons. Then it's like, oh, Dragon's Peak is in a mountain. Because dragons and mountains and all that. And then yeah, that's basically how we came to that conclusion. The guild was literally made during a stream when we were still streaming on Twitch. I was in a guild at the time. It was the week that we tried going for #1, and we technically achieved it, though we were beaten by 2 bots. But not counting the 2 bots, we made #1. But yeah, it was the week that we were trying to go for #1 on the leaderboard thingy. For PvP, because at the time PvP was still the leaderboard for PvP was still kind of new. I believe it was like the 3rd, 4th week of it or something. It was pretty, you know, it was just kind of added recently, so there's a lot of hype around it. But yeah, essentially what we did was go as high as we could that week, and then halfway through the week, because I ended up leaving the guild I was in for a little over a year for another one. And at that point, I was like, wait, I was only in there for like a week or 2, so I was like, wait, why don't I just make my own guild? And then that's kind of what happened. We made it out of people who were on the stream at the time. Actually, we still have some people to this day that were entered the guild when we had that stream. And, yeah, and then the guild just kind of took off from there. Let's see, we'll throw down greens, get that down. Yeah, a good majority of the guilds on the leaderboard right now have been created since were started when the game initially came out. There's only a few guilds that are currently in the top-ish area that were created after the fact. The main ones being my guild, Intrum, and I believe one other one. Some of them have been renamed though, so it's kind of hard to tell. As far as these top 10s, Tyrant's been around for a decent amount of time. Black Dragon has been renamed a couple times, but has been around for a while. Interim is one of the newer ones. Interim 2 is one of the newer ones. Anonymous has been around pretty much since the game started. Same as Druid's Glade, though it was renamed a couple times. Same as Strat Gem, similarly renamed. Artista is relatively new. Martha's Guardian has never been renamed. Has been around pretty much since the game started as well. And I forget about Titania, which would probably be easier if we just looked at the top 10 trophies, because those are more commonly the newer guilds, because, I mean, the older guilds, because the newer guilds can still climb all the way up the guild wars pretty easily, though trophies a little bit harder. Yeah, Matchers has been around since the game pretty much started a little bit after. I think it was like 6 months after or something. I used to be in that guild for the longest amount of time. Yep, Anonymous has been around forever. Interim started about the same time as me. Martha's Guardian forever. Strat Gem forever. Black Gem forever. Tough, I believe, came around the same time as Interim. Tiger Claw, I believe, has been around for a while. Rockstar has been around for a while. And all that. Asher's World has been around for a while. There's actually quite a few down here. Klein Nets, and a few others. Anyways. Back we go. Good evening, Maximuse. You'll get your first Queen Aurora. Can you do a team? Sure, Queen Aurora. I have not bothered doing Queen Aurora for a while. If I'm not mistaken, her trait is slightly nerfed because you can't multi-trigger her trait anymore. I don't believe you can. We were messing around with it earlier and it didn't seem like it was doing it, but we can definitely try it again. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but if that is what actually happened, they like really nerfed Queen Aurora without intending it. Because of course they made it so you can't trigger a trait multiple times in a single instance. But the problem with that is she's made to trigger her trait multiple times in a single instance. So the fact that she can't is quite bad for her. But yeah, we'll go mess with her. Not quite sure what team I want to use. I might just end up using a what's his name? Oh, what's it called? Can't remember his name off the top of my head. An Grim Loop team, the standard one that I kind of did when it first ended up coming out. I wouldn't mind messing around with that, see what we can do, and see what other ones. It would be the easiest team to see if it's actually functioning as well, since we'd get a lot of mana down relatively quickly onto the board. Hello, Aid Warrior. Welcome. Okay, we're not frozen on purple yet, so we can just throw that down. Actually, never mind. We already had plenty enough damage. Let's go and mess with the Queen Aurora real quick. See what we can do with her. See if she even works correctly. Let's see. What did Amanda suggested? Oh yeah, if you're going to only buy one of the dungeon packs, it's always Sunday that is the most worth it. What's 10,000 power level? Oh, 10,000 power level is the level that you can have on your troops. As you can see, there's 9,762 here, there's over 10,000 here. Basically, the update that happened on console today now allows for people to go above the standard max, which I have no clue what it was before, but now it is slightly over 10,000. So it is now possible to console to also get over 10,000. Okay, let me go and... what was I about to go do? Oh yeah, the Queen Aurora team. Let me go get that. So let's just put it over suggested. So, oh, we still have the giant thingy here from earlier. So let me go see. I'm actually curious if Queen Aurora even works properly anymore. We messed with it for a little bit, but I didn't test it extensively. Grim. What else do we need? Let's see. Well, first things first. Well, I might as well build it into what then? Basically just a troll team. Because we'd get the loop going pretty easily. Oh, but we wouldn't have to burn. Okay, we'll do the Infernus version then. Just with the giant spider. Okay, I think that's what we need. It's an Grim tank team. And then we just need to get blue up. Actually, what's the new banner? It might actually work pretty good with this. Minus yellow for +2 blue, +1 green. Excuse me. Green? That is actually perfectly fine. Let's go use it with the new Merlantis banner. It'll also get us using the new Merlantis banner because I barely ever use it. Let's see here. So where do we start? I probably should go for the spider, but there's no really good mana takes, so we'll take the purple to the green. I mean, and we get my colors. There we go, and that's full mana. Now I can just snowball from there. Oh, I forgot to double check to see if she triggered. Let me go check the replay of that real quick. Wasn't that a 5 times into a 3 times? Let me see if that gave the correct amount of mana. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. Oh, no, there was too many things happening at once. Let me see. I'm really curious on this real quick. 1 second, guys. Okay, so it did a 3 pair. Oh, no, but then it did a 6. Okay, I need to make sure I get a match that isn't like that. Let's see if Element Grim can do it. Okay, there we go. Let's see how much mana we got right there. Now, that would give us a better example. Okay. There we go. There goes me casting. Let me go back 1 second. Okay, I want to see what happens here. I'm really curious. So we get a 4 pair, a 3 pair, and that's it. So 4 times and a 3. We have a +1 right now, or +2 actually. So 4 times and a 3. That should, in theory, be... Oh wait, did we mana surge though? Wait, double check the mana surge, because I can't hear a sound on it. It looked like just double extra turn. Was that mana surge down there? 1 second. Okay, that was a mana surge. So 3, 6, that should have been 8. And then the 4, that should have been 14 mana. Though we only got 12. So where are we missing the mana? Yep, that is it. They have nerfed every single link in the game. That is true. So Queen Aurora is basically dead content then. Queen Aurora is dead content. She can't trigger multiple +1s at once. I have no clue which way she tries to prioritize it though, if it's like 2 different colors simultaneous. But yeah, she can no longer multi-trigger her trait, which was the whole point of her in the first place. So they really need to look into revisiting her ability, because in the current state of the game, her trait is basically useless. And the whole point of the troop was to base it around that trait. Yeah, it doesn't multi-trigger. So if you take, for example, a green and a brown simultaneously, you will only get the +1 for one of those 2 colors. And which one will trigger, I have no clue. But it would not trigger on both of them. And that's the bottom line there. Yeah, she's quite useless then. I wouldn't really bother ever using her until they buff her. They always do changes like that and then never rebalance. They need to rebalance. Yeah, that makes her really weak. It also makes it less desirable to actually go for the links too. Which I guess is okay, because links were pretty powerful, to be honest. But still, no. They're not as viable. We want that viability. Okay, well. At least it's 1 mythic less for your collection. Yeah, 1 less that you'd really need to worry about as far as collecting it. Either you don't need to collect it immediately, or if you're just doing it for collection purposes, at least you'll have her now. She's still okay. I wouldn't really bother using her, of course, as a core troop. It's not something you would run on literally every team. She would be okay in Guild War defense. She's still decent with a Forest Guardian, and not much of the meta gets used with Forest Guardian, so she would make for a really good defend day if you had her and had absolutely no use for her. She would still work for at least one thing, which of course defending. Have you got a good humility team that doesn't use Web Spinner or Draculus? Crimson Bat? Same thing, but just with Crimson Bat. Honestly, just double humility into anything is like the way to go with a humility team. Double humility fully traded into any full AoE troop. Also, if you don't have Crimson Bat, you get Crimson Bat next week off of event keys, so it's right around the corner. As far as non-upgraded humility teams, you wouldn't really ever need to use that, though if you were, you'd still kind of do the same premise. You can do a double humility full AoE with a support troop, and instead of getting a lot of magic from just letting them hit you, you would try to make them hit you less, but go all in on mana. So instead of going for a skull, you would end up going for a secondary mana that would end up getting your team to constantly loop, and then you just go crazy with stats. Basically every double humility team, the whole premise is you basically try to get your stats as high as you possibly can, and then just go from there. Okay, well, we'll move the blue down. Get all that going. Yeah, we'll just get an explosion. I probably actually should have gone for KrissTigger, but oh well. Oh! Well, definitely should have gone for KrissTigger. Wasn't expecting that. Ow. Okay, well, we do slightly less damage now. We'll have the thing, but we can just, where do we go for this? I think I'm going to move that first. Because this isn't affected by the magic reduction. So if we did it the other way around, we would have done 1 less damage to him. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have made much of a difference, but still. Merlantis is now level 5. Nice, congrats. You have lost so many resources. Yeah, I know. It takes so many resources to get Merlantis up. Also, anyone new on console, or not new on console, but I mean, anyone on console who ended up getting Merlantis today, which is, well, all of console. So anyone on console, don't bother trying to get it to 5-star yet, the new kingdom. Well, for one, you actually can't until Monday. But wait till Monday to get, like, more of the legend and everything, because it's ridiculously hard to get it max prior to that. But you'll be able to do it all next week off of event keys, or at least a good majority of it. They are going to be working event keys in the future, too. So if you're getting tired of having to spam like a billion gold keys, that will change, hopefully as of next patch. I'm not sure if they're going to be implementing it that early, but in the very near future, they will be adding a patch where event keys basically get completely overhauled. Well, not completely overhauled, but they're likely going to reduce their price slightly, but allow all rarities to be in them. And rarities would be in bulks, so the commons would be like 3 and the rares would be like 2 whenever you get them. So they are going to be doing that change in the near future. And this would be really nice for whenever new kingdoms come out, since you'd be able to just open up event keys and then get everything you would ever need from the new kingdom, instead of having to waste gold keys, glory keys, and everything of the such. You'd still have to if you want to get it 3 days early, but other than that, you wouldn't really need to. Because of course, from that Friday until the Monday, like right now on console, you guys don't get the event till Monday. In that time frame, you wouldn't have them if you were to just wait for event keys. So it would give incentive to still do it. It's actually a pretty nice balance that they ended up doing with it. It's one of the few things they have balanced pretty well, and they're going to be making it even better after next patch. Why is there a Japanese shrine on the loading screen in the next... yes, it is the next kingdom. They're going to be making a Chinese localization next major patch. And next major patch will also be bringing the that kingdom that you see. It's a Chinese, Japanese / Asian themed kingdom that they're going to be adding. What specifically it's going to be bringing, I'm not quite sure. But we know that one lady with a fan will definitely be one of the troops that are going to be added, of course. Not sure if it's going to bring a new kind of mechanic. It seems like if it doesn't, it would have a lot of enchant. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. I'll go bring the red over to get the other mana down. He's using a pure drain spam right now, so we have to deal with that annoyingness. Now would be one of the few good times to get a Leviathan down, if at all possible. Because we do not want to have to deal with a Scion first slot, or in any slot for that matter, but particularly first. Okay, let's go and, do I do this on red? We both need red, but he's just going to clear the board, so I am going to go for that. We get a little bit of mana out of it, though then again, he's kind of just going to drain it. And like right there, for example, he drains, or he dodges the damage, but he doesn't dodge the drain, even though the drain 2 hits all enemies. It's things like that which make Submerge really, really ridiculously weak. Because a lot of the things that would be useful for it to actually dodge, it doesn't actually dodge. Like, for example, there isn't a single thing that he can dodge on the enemy team with Submerge. The Submerge is absolutely nothing other than negate the damage that a Scion does, but it doesn't negate the drain that a Scion does. There we go here. I guess we'll just take a skull. Move that up. He counters gold. No! Why? Okay, well, I guess we'll just get our enchant down, if nothing else. Rip. Okay. Not looking good. What is even the game plan? Just rush KrissTigger into damage? Well, I can't take either of those because of... Oh, and I just give it reds. Good job. Okay. Well, now we can kill it at least, if nothing else. And he's going to go for the explosion. Going to give him most of his mana back. We'll take the blue-purple, sure. I'll give us a KrissTigger cast. Also gives us Dragon Soul. Actually have a lot of options right now. And then we can just throw for pure damage right here. Ideally, extra turn alignment would be great. I think we can get it, though. Ooh. Can we? No, I still don't think that's alignment. No, it isn't. Okay. So we're not going to go for that. But we will go and just remove that one. Hey, we do get an extra turn off the top. Very lucky there. Don't really have much to throw that would get him killed at the moment, though. We'll throw the Shadow Dragon first, so we'll get that down. I'll just move that over. And yeah, there's no way we're getting it killed this turn. Unless we get some kind of, like, ridiculously lucky thing. We don't have KrissTigger right now, too, so we don't have any kind of direct board control. So let's go for the explosion. And we did indeed get lucky, so now we can just throw KrissTigger into whatever. We'll be good to go. Alright, so he just pokes us. He does get a kill, Dragon Soul, and as essentially match. Oh wow, he did a lot of extra damage, but it won't matter, because he'll die to that. They almost created a way to block mana drain with Submerge, but they messed that up. Yeah, that would be really, really good if they were to do that. If they made Submerge immune to mana drain, or anything that does full AoE. So if they made it immune to Queen Mab, they made it immune to Queen Mab's mana burn, if they made it immune to Kraken's full AoE damage, which it should be immune to. The only reason it's not, I believe, is because it's actually from a trait, not from an ability. If they made it immune to Famine's Drain to All, if it made it immune to Scion's Drain to All, Submerge would instantly go from being near useless to probably one of the best stats effects in the game if they actually made it do that stuff. And it wouldn't be that overpowered either, because there's still plenty of single targets. The only thing that would ever make it overpowered is if they add a stealthy Submerge. And even that wouldn't be too bad, assuming the troop was kind of average. But if they put it like impervious stealthy Submerge, that would be a little bit too over the top. Actually, I don't even think anything right now has impervious plus stealthy, I don't think. I don't believe there is. Yeah, that would be pretty powerful as well, though that doesn't exist. That's another thing that used to exist that they actually removed from the game, because they said it would be too overpowered, though it wasn't really that overpowered. They ended up removing Stone Skin plus Impervious. There was a troop that used to have it. Surprisingly, it was a common as well. At the time, it was basically the best column. It was Golem, the standard Golem, the brown guy from Karkaroth. That guy. He used to have, when the traits were first released, he had Stone Skin plus Impervious. And that combo was pretty nice. Wasn't really that overpowered, though. But they ended up removing it because they didn't want the implementation of that into the future, because it made it so there was almost no counter to it. Though in the current meta of the game, there'd be plenty of counters, but back then, it was just a little bit too hard to really deal with for the fact that it was a common. And then they said they'd kind of never give any troop that kind of ability again, which kind of makes sense because it would be quite powerful, adding that kind of combination. Because you'd be immune to most stats effects, and you'd be, or all stats effects, and you would be immune to basically skull damage, or at least half mitigation. And that much protection doesn't really give a way to counter it out too easily, other than just throwing sheer damage at it. And imagine if they added Submerge into that. You'd have to only do single target as the only way to kill it. Not to mention it gains some durability against single target because it keeps gaining armor every time the enemy casts as well. And they do need to add more traits like that, though. Traits that trigger when enemy actually casts. There's only currently 2 counters to casting in this game, which is one of the reasons why casting is so ridiculously powerful right now. And those 2 counters are Inscribed, which only gives you 1 armor every single time the enemy casts, which is extremely trivial in late game. And the other one is, what's his name? Dark Monolith, which ends up gaining 3 magic, I believe it is, every single time the enemy why didn't I just take green? It was so obvious. But, yeah, it gains 3 magic every single time the enemy casts. And this, of course, can keep stacking every single time the enemy does cast to get a really, really large amount of magic built up. Okay, I don't need to go for the kill yet. We'll try for the blue. Oh wow, we actually got it. Nice. Sweet. Okay, well, we'll just go for some damage. And that is match. Oh, nope, Dragon Soul. Oh, he even got moved to the back. Look at that. I'll go get that down. Oh, I could have taken the blue into the extra turn. Actually would have been enough damage too, because we would have had Shadow Dragon. Oh no, it would have been short. Would have done like 26 or so damage to it. Would have survived with 2 HP. Or 1 because of poison. That would have been annoying. Hello, Chris and William and Chalky and Dinosaur Roar. Wow, a lot of hellos I haven't said. Let's see. Let's see. You take it that creature off the Merlantis load screen will be the Kingdom's Mythic? Yes. The really large bucking one with like moss on it and all that, yes. That one will be a Mythic. A really high mana cost Mythic as well. But yes, he will be a Mythic eventually, soon TM. I have no clue when. Actually, I do know when. Let me go double check. He will be the Mythic on... Not next Friday. Next Friday is... Actually, what is next Friday? Next Friday is the Drifting Sands Mythic. The following one is... Oh, no, it's actually going to be a while before he comes around. Oh, wait. I don't know why they added it to the game so early. Maybe it's not the Mythic. I thought it was, but never mind. Based on the current Mythic schedule, it's not coming for a while, if that is indeed the Mythic for the Kingdom. Well, first things first, when is the next event for the Kingdom? I believe it was the 1st, yes. January 1st is the next Kingdom, or the next troop for the Kingdom of Merlantis, so it's a good while away. Also, console should be fully caught up by then. But other than that, let me see. Yeah, so there is not getting a Mythic for a while. Next Mythic is Drifting Sands, which is going to be some kind of poison thingy. Then it's Divining Fields on November 24th. Then it's Glacial Peaks December 22nd. Probably maybe Christmas themed. Well, then again, we already have Ragnargord. But I guess they're doing Glacial Peaks then because, hey, Christmas. Groshnok will be January 5th, which is actually soon after the previous Mythic. That's only like 2 weeks apart. Normally they don't give Mythics that close together. And then February 2nd is the Mythic after that for Leonis Empire. And then we can't see any further than that. February 2nd as far as we can see. Also, here is the document on all that. I forgot to post it. What was the Gems of War update? The one that recently happened? It was basically just visual changes and a few bug fixes. Nothing mechanically important. I didn't bother doing a video on it because nothing really relevant happened. Almost all of it were slight visual changes. And everything else that it wasn't was just bug fixes. So nothing technically happened. It was just fixing of things that they messed up during the most recent patch. So yeah, I didn't really bother covering it. But yeah, there was a patch like a couple days ago. The relevancy of it was not really needed though. So I think we just lost already. This battle just started. How do we lose already? What are you doing, Great Maul? Okay. Well, we'll go for, I guess, a retreat at this point. So, yeah, I keep forgetting it's not in the top right corner. They need to change that. Well, then. Also, I should probably switch over to, what's his name again? So we can actually get down the 2x trait stones. While I don't technically need them, I do want to farm them up a bit more than what I have been. And we can take that. No! You took it away from me. This is my plan. I should have probably just took that to begin with. Since there wasn't really any direct need to take the other one. Okay, I can take this, but he gets a skull. Is it worth getting frozen over? I think so. Alright, so we have Dragon Soul now. We have Shadow Dragon, though no alignment. Another Distract, nice. Shadow Dragon for damage and mana. I know extra turn, but we wouldn't have gotten anyways. Oh no, we would have actually. We were not frozen on purple. But there was no alignment, so we wouldn't have. No alignment for us. Okay, let's just go get a Dragon Soul into whatever else. Yep, was that a question? Yes it was. But I already answered that one. Yeah, Lamprey got indigestible plus stealthy. It's not quite the same though, but it is a pretty nice combo. That was something I mentioned on the Monday video, though someone brought to my attention that I completely misspoke on it when I ended up saying it. But yeah, I mentioned that on the Monday video. That's the only thing with both a Devour, stealthy, and immune to Devour, which makes it quite immune to single targets in basically every way, shape, or form. Every single instant kill it is immune to, essentially, except for Deathmark. But all like the single target ones that tend to take out a troop, like for example that Great Maul and stuff like that, or Dracos, and all those kind of troops, it's immune to all of them, which is kind of nice. Though the instances you would even bother using it, though, are pretty limited, which is the only real problem with it. Because you can't use it against most enemies, since it can only work on blue. I feel like they kind of added that as a bit of a like Justice Team counter, and similar teams like Queen Mabs and stuff like that. But I don't know, it doesn't really fully serve that role, I don't feel like. Mainly because it's too low of a chance. 30% is very low, relative to the fact that there are already troops in the game that have something like a 50%. Those are all the giant ones. The ones that have, like, for example, the Dragon Cruncher, which has a 50% chance to devour dragons, plus doing extra damage to something else. I forget exactly what it was. I think elementals. And there's other versions of it too, like Gob Chomper, which does 2 times to goblins, plus has empowered. So compared to things like that, and there's Elf Eater, compared to their 50% when the Lamprey can only do 30%, it does seem pretty weak. I think they could have actually gotten away with doing it up to 50%, and it still wouldn't have broken anything. But they didn't, so yeah, Lamprey, I haven't bothered using it once. There's actually 3 troops from the New King, or actually 2. 2 of them that I haven't even bothered touching once, and that is the Lamprey and the brown-green guy who has a 10 mana cost. He's actually not too bad. I'd probably use him in Arena, but out of the context of Arena, I really have no need to ever bother with him. Anyways, let's go win this battle, hopefully. Go move that over. Take the blues, it's more important to him. So we need to deny them. Take that. He should miss here. And he does indeed. Kind of. Never mind. Nope. And of course, you did not have immune to that, so you die. Rip. Well, at least we got a gold key. Oh, you still get experience for losing? I actually never paid attention to that. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, we get experience for losing. I guess that kind of makes sense, but there we go. Anyways, let's go switch back to the use of 2 times trait stones. This is the only one of all the teams I end up creating that I really have been bothering to use. Mainly because it's the only one that really utilizes the fact that he has an armor gain. And of course it's pretty nice to do, given that he has a decent armor gain. It's not anything like way over the top, but given that he can make a blue storm on top of everything else is the main mechanic that I use him for. If he did not have the capability to make a blue storm, I'd probably never bother using him. That mechanic alone is enough to kind of make him viable, because whenever we get a kill, we can kind of just snowball from there, which is kind of nice. Right here, we'll just go for that armor buff. The ability itself is pretty lackluster, but it's what he actually gets to achieve with his traits, plus his ability is what normally makes him worth it. Alright, so move that over. He got a lot of mana there, not much I can do about that though. But at least it's not full, so we're safe from that. Let's get a nice Valkyrie down there. And can we just explode or something? Yeah, I think we can just explode. Unless we cascade something weird, he's not going to get full mana this particular turn. Oh, he did, but he didn't cast, so that's good. He didn't go for it. Sweet. So we'll go and do this on red. And can we get the last little bit of damage? We need like 6 damage. Where are you? It keeps increasing every single turn how much we need to kill it. It means we're probably not going to be able to explode kill. Is brown seriously the only thing? We have brown or brown as our choices. I guess we'll take brown. Are we seriously just left with browns again? There's brown there, there's brown there. Wow, this board is horrible. Yeah, we'll take that one. And as match. There we go. So hello, Mr. Wilson. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Any idea for a good cash grinding team so your clan can get the weekly tasks done quicker? Generally for that, they're the easiest way, well, maybe not the easiest, but the most profitable way to gain a lot of gold is to keep refreshing PvP and only doing the revenge battles. This would cost you quite a bit of gems, but assuming you ration yourself to, let's say, 100 gems per week, this would give you one of the highest possible gold gains. Another option is to go to casual PvP and use a team that can win on Warlord 3 or Warlord 4. This would basically consist of like Great Maul teams that you can get a really quick Great Maul on and then kill them out, because this would give more money than a normal battle. So if we were to get that 100% extra gold on top of that, that would end up being a little over 2,000 gold. Whereas compared to, actually, it would basically be the same as a revenge battle. Actually, it would give more money than a revenge battle, though we would actually have to win. A little bit harder to win on the higher difficulties, but with a Great Maul team, you basically just gain a lot of stats and kind of go from there. But yeah, basically just plowing down either Warlord 3 or 4 casual battles using a Great Maul Mercy with like few other supporting troops to just tear them down with, or just repicking till you get revenges. Those are the two quickest possible ways to gain gold in this game. Whichever one is more viable to you would probably be the option you'd go for. Personally, I don't bother spam repicking. I do occasionally like throw some repicks down, but it's not really something I excessively use. Oops, I just gave him purple over there. Okay. Well, we gained the Valkyrie here. Throw down greens. And what else we need to move around? Move that down. And what else? What else? Guess we take a blue. I just don't know which way I want to take it. Skull's obviously pointless. We'll move that one. And we'll just throw a token Rowan here. Won't really do much, but just getting her down just so she doesn't have her mana anymore. Oh wait, oops. I meant to use Valkyrie, though then again I don't actually have Valkyrie. I guess that didn't really matter. Speaking of Valkyrie, let's go throw our Valkyrie. Now that we have her. That was the whole point of getting her up in the first place. And, oh, I should have done the buff. That actually would have been enough damage. What's the game plan here, then? I guess explosion's enough to kill him, and then we go from there. There we go, double kill. And then we can just Rowan for the final little bit of damage, and that will give us the final little bit of souls as well. Do you know why they never added daily tasks to PC? They will be. When they're going to get around to it, I do not know. But last I've heard, they are intending to do it. It would be a good thing to ask them for the next Q&A as well. I need to start like jotting down all the things I want to ask them for Q&As, because whenever they like, hey, what kind of questions do you guys have for us? I always like forget like what I want to ask. Because there's always so many that I sometimes just forget them. But yeah, that would be another pretty good thing to ask. When on earth they're going to be bringing that into the game. The tasks. They ended up saying a while back. I don't know how recently, the most recent thing that they've ever mentioned on it was. But I know before they basically said they're not only looking into adding tasks to PC, but they're looking into completely reworking how they work, including on console. So not sure when they're getting around to that, but they are going to basically do a complete overhaul of tasks when they do decide to add it to PC Mobile, which might be one of the reasons why they're taking a little bit to decide when they're going to do it, because they're deciding what exactly they're going to be reworking it into. Like the tasks that are on console are going to completely change once they add it to PC Mobile, because they're going to rebalance them and do other changes to them and whatever else. I currently don't really know much about tasks on console, but whatever they are, they're going to be changed from what they currently are. So get the whole clan to build Great Maul team is. Yeah, pretty much. I can go show that real quick, an example of it. I'll probably just use the classic build, though you could use almost basically any variant of it. So you just go into casual battle, find something worth a lot of gold, and if it's not worth a lot of gold, just keep picking until it is. Look at that. We get 167 more gold. All it is are fortress gates. Though, I can't actually use the Great Maul team we just mentioned against fortress gates. So plan B, since we can't use plan A, let's go, I guess, humility spam into Dracula's. Sure, go with that. Humility, Dracula's, or Crimson Bat if you don't have, and I guess Mercy just for rush's sake, and to make sure we use purple in some way, shape, or form, and of course, obviously not that banner. Go for double yellow. And yeah, let's go do this. But yeah, as you can see, the battle is ridiculously easy. Probably would be more efficient to do it on Warlord 3. Unless you're actually using the Great Maul team, it probably should just keep it on Warlord 3. I don't know why I did Warlord 4. The amount of reward you get extra for Warlord 4 is almost never worth it. Warlord 3 is generally the way to always go. So we'll go, yeah, look at those stats. Look at those HP values in defense. Wow. Also, I underestimated how much damage he can do. That's actually not bad on damage right there. As far as how much he can do. This was definitely a bad idea doing it on Warlord 4 though. Warlord 3. Warlord 3 is the highest we should go. Kind of forgot about that. I normally don't use the difficulty setting. At least not that often anyways. Oh, that miss. Oh, humility. Tank for us. Tank all the things. Luckily he doesn't use almost everything. Well, try hunting it down in yellow. Actually, let me take it down. So we have it. Okay, Dracula's down. Still haven't gotten magic buff or really anything for it. Oh, I got our mana at least. And we'll take a yellow just to try getting the buff up. No! Has anything even gotten a magic buff? No. What is this madness? How could he do such a thing? The magic buff already? Nope, no magic. Keeps giving us useless stats that we don't actually need. Wouldn't that be sad if we lose the 4 Fortress Gates? You know, that actually could be possible. The struggle of Warlord 4 difficulty. Okay. Definitely not Warlord 4. Well, at least him gaining armor does basically nothing. Where to move? Do we even bother getting humility up? I think at this point we just go all in on Dracula's. Which is the game plan. Ooh, it's tempting. Backfired. Okay, well, we'll move that over. How much damage do we have? 34. It's gonna take 2 more of his casts. Luckily, he's so tanky at this point that it's not like he's gonna die, most likely. I don't know. If he ends up dying, there's something wrong here. Well, board keeps going like that. Just denying my manas. Alright, we'll get 2 more casts and take him out. But yeah, this one went very, 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 very slow. We'll be able to show the Great Maul team when we're up against not spam Fortress Gate to show how it works. Those armor values, though. Hello, Kahn even. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh no, we didn't surge. Or we did surge, but it wasn't on the color we needed. It's on the completely irrelevant color. There we go. One more, we'll take it out. Wow, I've never seen a Draculus cast this many times in one battle and not win. Especially on a humility team. Let's see. I'll go move that down. Trying to find the last little bit of mana to drop from the top. And final blow. Okay, well that took way longer than it needed. That was a bad example, but let's go do a Great Maul version now. That'll be a lot better of an example. So we repick until we get good gold, like 1,000 plus. There we go, boom. And, ooh, a little bit annoying with wisps, but let me go build the standard team, which is the Great Maul. And get all the skull spam in. The whole plan here is to not die. Sometime we will also need Entangle. So we could put like a Sylvanian Moor or something into the team. But the general premise is get one gigantic Great Maul, then kill enemy team. Is basically the entire premise of what we're doing right now. Let's do it on Warlord 3. Warlord 3 gives us 100 or 75% gold bonus. So still a pretty hefty amount relative to having to spend gems to keep repicking in PvP. But ideally we get a perfect board to start with, like that. Exactly so. Get a Devour on the most annoying thing on the enemy team, which since we can't hit wisps because of how annoying they are, I guess we'll just go for that thing. Shegra we don't need to cast yet. Ideally we'd have 1 more mana so we could go cast the Inferno King, which would give it to us right there, and perfect. Now we just go Inferno King, and as you can see the battle goes down in basically no time flat, even though it's on Warlord 3 difficulty. And that's basically what I was talking about with that. and that is essentially the quickest way in the entire game to farm gold. This used to do over 10,000 per battle until it was nerfed. You used to be able to use difficulty settings in normal PvP, and when you were able to do that, you were able to get upwards of 10,000 gold per battle for some battles. That is no longer possible. I think the highest you can get through this method, since you can only do it in casual PvP now, is around 5,000-ish gold, around there. But yeah, it's still the best gold farming method in the entire game. Just repick 2, you get something of 1,000 plus, and then do exactly what we just did. Though that previous example was a little bit too perfect. Not all of them are that good of a setup. Also, you don't always get the really good starting board. Ideally, that will happen every time, but of course, obviously it doesn't. Yeah, that's the whole premise of what this is. Do we have alignment? No, we do not. So it is going to go a bit slower this time around, since we can't really do as much to the board. Taking a brown or red right now would be great. Can't take either, though. Oh, he gets a shuffle. That's not good, though the board didn't really do much, so I guess that doesn't matter. And there we go, another kill. Shegra for another kill. And as you can see, it goes down pretty quick still. What do we move? Go move that one down. I got a skull poke. No, don't kill the Great Maul. Actually, it could be really bad if the Great Maul does die. You basically just reset whenever it does, because the chance of winning at that point is not worth the amount of time. It's going to be near impossible. Okay, we'll get a skull there. And as a match, because of the split damage. Yeah, that's the really, really quick gold farming method. And you just keep repeating that and repick when it's not over 1,000, then go for that. Also, be careful if they're all impervious or immune to devour. That would also, like with the 4x Fortress Gate, obviously you can't use a Great Maul team against that. So here's finally a slow one. Let's see how we can do against a slow one then. This one, of course, doesn't have a Mercy from the very first starting board, which is ideally what you want, but of course you don't always get it. We'll go a bit slower than what a normal battle would do with it, but still at a decent pace. So you get the Mercy. Because we are getting 75% extra gold for the difficulty setting. Not to mention, we can keep repicking infinitely until we really get a team. The amount of gold for repicking in casual PvP is ridiculously low, so you don't really need to worry about the expense. What do we do here? Especially if you have free scouting, then you really don't need to worry about the expense. Oh, we just can't get that last little bit, can we? Move that over. It's a skull. Gotta be really careful with skulls before we get to Devour, because our stats are so low. So there's our chance to get the Devour. What do I actually want to go for? I guess we go for the Guard or the Infernus. Let me actually go for the Infernus. Ooh, that miss. Hey, maybe I should have gone for the Guard. Oh, that is gonna hurt. Ooh, and he gets a silence on the one. Forgot about that. Well, still get quite a bit of damage here. Oh yeah, I forgot. He has the skin too. Ah, you know what? That's pretty bad then. Forgot about that. 80% reduction. Back when I used to do this constantly, this guy didn't even used to exist, and no one bothered using Gorgolfo, so you didn't really need to deal with anything above 50% skull reduction. I forgot about that. 80% skull reduction. That is probably something we can't bother Great Mauling due to how much durability he has. I'll give it a shot. We get a cleanse right there. Still killable. We could get a really nice cast here, it would work. Unfortunately, we don't have extra turn alignment, so that's not going to be enough damage. I gotta deny deliberately for the Alchemist right here. Okay, he gets Stonehammer. That might actually help us. The Alchemist doesn't, though. Do we have alignment? Yes, we do. Okay, we should be able to win now. Please, take more damage. Okay, move that over. Do we just throw Shegra? Let me take mana first before I do. Yeah, so we throw Shegra. Get another Inferno King down, hopefully. So we kill through him. Doesn't even matter if they have 80% reduction with double the stats. They still go down. Yeah, it's great. Okay, he'll take a skull here. As long as he doesn't have a follow-up, we're fine. It doesn't appear to be, so we'll take that. Oh, he does. He has Guard's Avatar. Oh no. He could actually win this. What do we do? I can't take that move. It's a trap. There we go. Let's go take the trap. He set it up for us. Okay, let's move that over. And come on, we just need one little poke. That's all we need. Oh, never mind. We'll have to burn as well. That'll do it. The last damage we need, and as you can see, we get 4,000 gold. But, yeah, that's pretty much what you would end up doing. Ideally, it would go the quicker ones, but you do have the harder ones occasionally. Also, you'd probably want to skip entangles too, just because of how potent they would be. But, yeah, that's basically how you farm gold if you truly wanted to farm a lot of it really quick. It would require Great Maul plus Mercy. The rest of the team doesn't matter excessively. Ideally, you would use something similar to this because you need the skull spam potential. This is my personal favorite. But if you happen to not have this, there are plenty of alternatives you can use, like Keeper of Souls and stuff like that. Like a Giant Spider Keeper Soul combo or something. But really, the whole premise is get Great Maul as quickly as possible, then go from there. Hopefully he doesn't kill us off a skull right here. No, he does not. Good. Okay, so we'll get our Devour. Again, same thing. Get it on KrissTigger. Get that down. Mercy will cleanse all of the ailments. When we do decide to go for her, to take every skull we see and just keep going from there. Come on, alignment. He can help us with that. If he keeps shuffling enough times, he will align it in a way that will help us. It's only a matter of time before he messes up indirectly. Okay. We really need a Mercy cast, but unfortunately none of them are really around. That cleanse does not really help us either. Let's take some yellows. He's the only one who's not up at the moment. So I will go for the cleanse here, just to get us going. Oh, it didn't go for that, surprisingly. Wow. Just left it there. And we do have alignment, so we can just go crazy now. So we'll take that for the extra turn. For the HP, get our damage down. Get one more little poke, and then Shegra killed, dead. But yeah, that's how you farm gold. The super quick way. Not sure how much that is per hour, but I do know it's above average compared to PvP. Not to mention you can repick into like the easiest team you could possibly find if you truly wanted to. As long as it's 1,000 plus gold, that's what you want to aim for. 1,000 plus make sure they don't really have any skull counter. You can go for lower ones too, but of course the higher the better. But yeah, you get the general premise of what we need to do. Actually, Scion's normally not too big of a threat because you generally get it up quick enough that it doesn't even matter. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much what you do. Also, oops, I didn't mean to use this team. Well, I guess we're using a normal PvP too. Obviously, it works in normal PvP. Though, this team was made specifically for, when it was first created ever, people used it for the purpose of farming up gold. It was never really made to be like a super meta team, even though it technically is. The whole purpose of it was to be a gold farming team, like the true first ever gold farming team. Let's see. Alright, we'll go take that. See if we can get a nice Inferno King anywheres. I just have to Shegra it. No! It's always better to Inferno King before to Shegra. But if we have to, we will Shegra. It's a lot harder to Shegra into Inferno King, but we did get the alignment because there was so much green on the board. One nice thing about that, though, is we can sometimes flip the mana back into the Shegra to get full mana. We didn't that time, but we got pretty close. We got the cleanse there, so now we can actually do some skulls and actually get our pokes. So we will go do that. Hey, can we get the reverse again? Wow, a second time in a row we did reverse Shegra Inferno King. That normally does not happen even once. Well, there we go. That worked out really nice then. So you're testing by taking Coming Soon off the 9 stars. Oh yeah, they are teasing us with that. It's actually not coming soon, even though they took the Coming Soon off of the 9 stars. The first 9-star kingdom isn't till a very long time. It's not till like March or April. Yet they took it off already. I have no clue why. Maybe they're going to be rescaling it in a patch coming up or something. I'm not quite sure what their plan is with that. But yeah, for whatever reason, they did end up removing the thing that says... Actually, let me go show that. Most of you probably already know what I'm referring to. But they removed the thingy on the power level. If you go to the power level, you can now see that triple tribute chance no longer says coming soon. But it's not coming till like March or April, so I don't know exactly why they had removed such a thing. Seems a bit odd. But yeah, unless they're unless they're going to be rescaling in some way, shape, or form, triple tribute chance is not coming for a while. Though once it does start coming, we're going to get so many resources from tribute. Speaking about resources, let me go donate more gold to the guild. I am, of course, very low this week because, as you guys know, to max out the most recent kingdom, I end up spending a ridiculous amount of gold on the I'll give that much. We end up spending a ridiculous amount of gold on the gold chest. So this week I've had almost no gold to contribute to the guild. So basically any gold I get this week goes instantly into it. My gold amount won't really be repaired until next week really hits. Once we can start messing with everything again. Because we better watch it every time they patch. No, it's not coming any sooner than what it already was. I honestly don't even know why they have the coming soons on them. I guess to indicate that it's not possible to get it. But if that was the case, then it's technically not possible to get 8 stars either. Unless they're planning something. Maybe that's what the... maybe somewhere in the 3-year anniversary that will be incorporated into it. It's like, oh hey, we're rebalancing how Kingdom Stars work. Who knows? Actually, I don't even know what they're doing for 3-year anniversary. I believe they're doing like the real celebration for it on reset, or not reset, on the 3-year of Steam version, which is kind of funny because the Steam version is hating on them right now because of the most recent patch. Also, something they ended up saying on the forum ended up the way they worded it made it seem like they didn't care about the Steam version at all, even though they do, but. The way they worded it, a lot of the community didn't really take that well. Or at least the more, like, casual community. Who don't see, like, every post that they ever do. Let's see, we'll go move that over. What did we take, a blue? Or just a skull? Or the blue and a skull. We don't actually need the blue, obviously, but he does. He needs it for everything. Absolutely everything. This board is not liking us right now. I hate having to take colors like that because it decreases our chance that we'd actually extra turn when we go for it. Like right now, we end up taking a 3 blue the previous turn, but now, I mean a 3 brown, but now there's less brown on the board for us to work with. Oh, there's at least one that fell. Please land. Got it. At least the extra turn. I don't think it's worth casting yet. So we'll just go for some mana that he might go for, just to deny that out. I'll go for the doubling of the purple then, and go from there. Green Guild War Day, not Kraken, facing Impervious. Green Guild War Day, not Kraken, facing Impervious. KrissTigger spam. Basically a Dark Maiden with many KrissTiggers. You can replace out maybe one other one too, or even just go 4 KrissTiggers if you truly wanted to. But yeah, KrissTigger plus Dark Maiden or something. Dark Maiden it's not really something I personally use much in Guild Wars. I did like initially when it came out, but Dark Maiden should definitely not be underestimated. She is excessively good in Guild Wars on green and red days. I personally don't use her just because my teams that I generally use aren't really shaped around being able to use her. But yeah, she's definitely really nice to incorporate into teams if you don't have other options out there. She's also only a rare, so basically everyone has access to using her in Guild Wars. It's not really like anyone's missing her since she's such a really, really easy trip to get. So building around her with like KrissTigger or Kraken or any other option, like you said, no Kraken, but yeah, if you have KrissTigger, that's all you really need. Dark Maiden, KrissTigger, and maybe one other support troop if you even want to bother with it. Don't you have something with Yasmin? Green Day Yasmin? I think it was Brown Day Yasmin, if I'm not mistaken. Because I was using Farsh Troll with it, I'm pretty sure. It was either Purple Day Yasmin with a Green Seer, or it was Brown Day Yasmin with a Farsh Troll. I don't think you can get away with Green Day Yasmin, as weird as that may seem. But the main reason for that is, for one, you need Web Spinner. And for 2, you need, you're blocking her mana like crazy. Which is always a pretty big liability, because your entire team would be green, and generally you'd put her in like 3rd slot or so, and she'd be blocked by way too many things. Also, can you not win instantly in 1 turn? What even just happened? These turns sometimes are insane. I now get what Console was saying before too, when they said like the AI just goes absolutely crazy and then just instantly wins out of nowhere. Yeah. That happens both ways, but still. Because it is impossible for a player to do that pretty easily. It's why we keep using infinite loop teams. It's just infinite loop teams in the current meta is just so strong based on how the slight changes that they made to RNG in the board and how things fall in the board. Just so good to just throw infinite loop related troops. Like anything that has the converts, anything that has really high gem spawns, stuff like that. The trolls also really need to be cut back. Almost every team these days runs trolls. Either forest troll, rock troll, dark troll, one of the basically core trolls. They're everywhere. It's trolls versus trolls. Also, the fire troll's finally coming. I don't know if they're going to nerf them when he comes out. He's probably going to be using some pretty strong combos too. If I'm not mistaken, he's a brown, blue, red doubler is what he's going to be. So we'll see how broken that will end up being based on what kind of combos can be created. I don't think it's going to be too big though. Out of every troll that has ever been added, surprisingly, I feel like Fire Troll will be the least impactful. The main reason for this is it's literally the exact same color as Banshee and Hellcat. And since Hellcat technically already serves that exact same role, it won't really do much. Like, of course, there's already a troop that does every single one of these colors. Like, for example, Apothecary can do brown, Giant Spider can do purple. But it's not in the same way as the other ones. Like, for example, while Apothecary may be able to do brown, they don't share any colors together, so you could use them together or you could interchange them based on what color you need. Same as Dark Troll, of course it shares no color with a Giant Spider, and so you can interchange them depending on which one you need. But in the case of the Fire Troll, assuming they do release it on the spoiler text that we end up seeing, where it showed that it had brown-blue as its colors, yellow-purple as its colors, that's not really going to be that useful, because that's the exact same color as Hellcat. So you could just use a Hellcat instead, and they're basically interchangeable. It's not adding any kind of new form to the teams. You basically just have to decide, do you want to convert or do you want a gem spawner. It's not actually giving you a different color option like many of the other ones do, or actually all of the other ones do. There's not a single one of the other ones that are exactly the same color. Not sure why they made this troll the same. Or the following troll. It's coming out on, I believe it was November 20th, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere around that time. Okay, well, let's go, and I think lose is the option here. It does look like it's coming towards that at this point. Oh, that was very lucky. So I don't think it's going to save us, though. Unless we could, like, triple green right here. Nope, we got one. We got some of it. Don't die. Okay, it's still winnable, as long as he doesn't end it right now. Okay, we're still frozen on important troops, or really only on one of them. But he also has purple, so it's pretty important of a color to not be frozen on. And we missed, and he hit. He only hit once though. Oh, you can still get attack reduction if nothing else. Can't really do much beyond that though. And it does look like we are gonna lose, because we're not going to be able to get mana up with how much we're being blocked right now. Yeah, it does look like it's over. No! There's no winning that at this point. These trolls have outbeaten our trolls. Whoever gets the board control first basically ends up winning in those cases. And again, another Forest Troll Kraken everywhere. I seriously might just need to do that instead of Justice Team with my Kraken. End up building a Forest Troll Kraken team of some kind of variant. They're just so ridiculously strong right now. That combo. Okay. Oh, let's go take our mana up. Hit our double. Go from there. And then we can go double the purples. Not for much value. Go double the green. Go get the Kraken down. He'll get a Devour. Go double the green. It gets so much progress so quickly, the team. It's like we just start the battle and then like one turn. It's like, well, we just progressed like 10 turns worth of battling in one turn. Yep, that's pretty much it. Go move the blue over. Go double the browns. Please lands. Oh, we got some of it. Not as much as we needed though. And as matched because we lost our damage source. RIP. Might need to start bringing back the Queen map teams against this kind of stuff. I don't really have many Queen map teams set up at the moment, though. I have the Kraken variant, and I think I have, like, one other, but... I guess we'll go with the Kraken Justice. Why not? It's really high quick skull damage, if nothing else. Odd idea. Oh wait, don't you have something with oh wait, never mind, I already answered that. If you know you are going to lose in Guild War defense, can you deny higher scores by using only one troop to deny damage bonus? Or would speed bonus be too high? Wait, what? If you know you are going to lose in Guild War defense, can you deny higher scores by using only one troop to deny... You can't set your team to only one troop. Also, that would deny out your own score as well. Yeah, for one, it's impossible to set your team as one troop. This was changed in the past. It used to be possible, but they changed it because it was being exploited quite a bit within the game. So they made it so it's impossible to set your defend team as one troop. It might initially set it to that, but even if you do get it successful, it's just going to roll like a different team of yours that you happen to have. It's not going to bother doing the one that you set as only one troop. So there's no way to do that. But yeah, all you really have to do for it is just set your teams as 4 uniques. You get the full amount of points for doing that, so there's really no point in not doing it. Every single thing is just pointing towards rewarding it, and there's really no point in not participating in that. But yeah, you have no need to just set your defend team as one. In PvP, that would actually be useful because there's really no incentive system for that. But for Guild Wars, as of the most recent patch, it actually is incentivized correctly. I should have taken those reds. It is incentivized correctly now that you basically can go all in on setting good defend teams for Guild Wars. Wait, Tacet, what's the fastest way to get jewels for the Soul Forge? There's literally only one way to get those, and that is from doing dungeons. They will be adding ways in the future to be able to specifically farm jewels, though as of this current moment in time, there's no way to do so other than just doing your daily dungeon and from being in a guild, which ends up giving some jewels by that means. But yeah, dungeon is the only way to currently obtain them, and this little purchase thingy. But there will be a means of doing that, alternative means, coming in the near future. When, I do not know, but they will be coming within the next, I would say, month or so, month or two, probably by the end of the year. We'll have to see exactly, but yeah, that'll be coming soon. Soon TM. It's a-coming. Just don't know when. I'm just gonna go pure mana here and go all in on Kraken. Don't miss. Don't fail us now. And yeah, that's good. Go for skulls. Complete miss. Good job. Well then, that's actually pretty bad. We'll just go take a skull there. Don't die, Kraken. We need you. Actually, it wouldn't matter too much, but it would be helpful if it lived. Well, deny out purple. That gives us Queen Mab. That also kills the Cabarrus. And what else? Throw down skull. Don't miss. Nice. That's almost match. 2 more little pokes. So we'll take a skull here. And nope. Okay. Oh, there we go. That long cascade even got a gem. Or map, whatever way you look at it. Technically you get a gem. Whenever you're, if you're wondering like why or what causes you to randomly get gems in, whenever you claim your defend, what actually triggers it is whenever there's a 7 times cascade. Normally it would give you a map, but if it happens on your defend team, it instead gives you a gem. This is kind of a mechanic that was left over from a long while back, before treasure map even existed, prior to version 1.05, where basically a 7 times cascade would give you 1 gem. Now it gives you 1 treasure map instead. But when your defend battles, for whatever reason, instead of giving you a map, actually give you a gem instead, which I'm actually perfectly fine with, because at this point, at least for endgame players, a gem is more valuable than a map. Simply because we have so many maps that we'd never be able to use them, but who knows, maybe we'll do something with them in the future. I sure hope so, because they are such useless resources. They're one of the few resources that when I obtain them, it's like, ooh. It's basically like getting absolutely nothing in return. Okay, well, let's go take Skull Poke, and as long as he doesn't revive, which he didn't, he dies. Can I try Forest Troll, KrissTigger, Queen Mab, and KrissTigger? Sure, we can go do that. Oh, there's a pure blue team as well. To dungeon every day and buy the... it's always pretty good to go for the 50 gem offer. Personally, I find it worth it every single day. Though, if you're budgeted on gems and you don't have a very large excess, what you can do instead is, instead of spending 50 gem literally every single day, you can just buy the pack on Sundays, because Sundays are diamond days, and diamond days are definitely by far the best day to throw it down, simply because it gives a lot more resources, and diamonds are considered the best possible one to even obtain, and since it gives so many more diamonds, it is definitely a good idea to generally go for them. Also, I did see your suggestion to go do your team. Real quick, let me just go take out the gates though, because the gates are just free money right there. So as soon as we finish out this battle, we'll go do the suggested team that you just made. You start drinking more water. Talking too much without drinking anything. Refreshing. There we go. Nice fresh water from yesterday. It's not that fresh. Let's see. It's actually the water bottle I got last night, but I ended up making hot chocolate instead, so I was like, eh. I took like one sip from it, and then didn't drink anything more. Is there red or purple? Red or is not, so we'll just take that, I guess. Come on, board. There we go, red. Though there's almost no brown on the board. If I miss, I give him armor. So we'll go for browns, the purples instead. Good, he went for skull, and now we win. And then we'll go do the team you just mentioned. Oh no, that's not full mana. That is though. How much purple is that? That's enough. That's not enough. Let me do something. There we go. Corroding Furnace, clear the board some. Both of these are really bad. We'll go for the purple though. And we miss. And now we just need to rebuild our manas. I'll give him blue. He doesn't gain any benefit from extra turns. And doubling brown would be kind of pointless right now. Not only does he use it, but there's almost none on the board to even begin with. No point in taking a skull because it will only kill the one. Though I'll take it because there's really nothing else, and we end up extra turning anyways, so it works out in the end. I'll go for double brown now. Of course we miss. Here, have a bunch of armor. Rip. Okay, I should probably stop casting him, because he's getting in the way of us being able to... Okay, I'm doing it again. I should stop casting him. Nope. Nope. Okay, we'll go throw that down. Because he keeps blocking our Infernus. I mean, our Elamagrim. Well, I guess Infernus as well, but mainly our Elamagrim. And that's match. One more poke. Actually, I could just Infernus that. And down it goes. Tacet will always recommend to craft Ferrous Raw first. Yes, I will always recommend to craft Ferrous Raw first. Though if you want me to compare specific ones that aren't Ferrous Raw together, I could give you suggestions. Like if you said like Famine versus something. But yes, as far as Soulforge is concerned, if you could craft literally anything in the entire game, I would say wait for Ferrous Raw, because it gives you the best value. Because there are mythics that come and go, when you only use them for a certain amount of times. Ferrous Raw will always be viable though, unless they plan on nerfing it, which they haven't yet. He's been out for almost a year now, and they have yet to nerf him. And yeah, in his current state, he is way ridiculously good. But it just saves you so much time on farming resources. Okay, anyways. Team that was suggested earlier. Someone wanted me to test. Zidicus wants me to do Forest Troll. We get all that in. So, Forest Troll. KrissTigger. Queen Mab. And what was the final one that we needed there? And... wait, I did that in the wrong order. Forest Troll, KrissTigger. Oh, never mind. It was double KrissTigger. The yawn. And Frozen Manor. Frozen. Let it go. Also, our souls are starting to get repaired some. We almost have 200,000. I haven't actually been specifically trying to soul farm. We'll have to do that in the near future. But we're getting there. I only need 1.3 million. Only. Actually, more like 1.4 million. Rip. But yeah, we're a while away from that. Okay, so let's start with browns. Get that rolling first. We're already frozen. Luckily, it's not on green. Wait, what do we get rid of here? I guess the brown, since we already have ours. No, but then he gets yellow. And then he does damage to us. Could take out red. Neither of us use red, but we'll go for it. I don't use it, he doesn't use it. Ideally, it would be a color that we use, but he does. I mean, that he uses, but we don't use. Though in this case, we have full overlap. So anything I do, he's also going to gain his benefit. Yeah, we're getting KrissTigger up there. Might as well just go and try getting it manually to full. No point in taking a skull, given that we're entangled. We lose our turn for taking this. So instead, I'm actually going to get rid of yellow. Also gives us Crystallize back up and some Queen Mab mana. And now I can just take one additional purple and see what we can do the following turn. Nothing apparently. Not even 13 blues on the board. That we'll be able to utilize. So we'll just get some brown mana. It gives us the full. Queen Mab, not going to be able to do much with, but we'll go double the greens, go from there. There's no direct green that he can take, so he can't deny us out there. And we'll go before him. And that should be a match. Yep, that is definitely way more than enough damage, and down he goes. Let's see. Oh, will he be craftable in the Soul Forge anytime soon? I didn't actually see your question. I saw a comment mentioning something about it. But yeah, let's see. You've not gotten Infernus or Elamagrim, but you think Fairish Ra would be useful for 150% souls. Out of those two, I would definitely say Elamagrim is decently more useful. But yeah, as I always say, Fairish Ra is basically the way to go. Just wait till he comes around. Because it's nice to have utilities, but nothing will really help you more than being able to save you time. And Fairish Ra saves you time. The other ones just make it easier for you to win. But there's plenty of teams that can win, but there aren't anything other than Fairish Ra that can save you time. He's literally the only mythic that will, how much time you have to play the game will be reduced by having more of him. Whereas every other troop, you may be able to win slightly quicker, but there's always teams at some point that will be able to win slightly quicker. There's like several dozen we can make right now that can all win within a minute or two. It's not like there's just a select few that end up doing it. Of course, there's sometimes few here and there that are better than others. There's always going to be. But there's always something budget-related that will be able to win PvP pretty quickly. Then again, the other case would be for Guild Wars. But for the most part, Guild Wars isn't really something that you should worry about too much. As you get later into the game, it does become more and more relevant. But even then, it's not something that you have to really excessively concern yourself with as far as like making sure you have the absolute most optimal thing. Like, you don't want to have like completely useless stuff, but you also don't need like the best in slot for every single day to still be able to function within Guild Wars. Go for KrissTigger. Get the purple down there, and one more little poke will knock it down, and that is indeed enough. What did Ovi end up saying? Sorry. What did I miss? What did I miss? Wait, which one were you referring to with that? Do you have 4 deaths? Yes. Oh, no, actually. Do I? Actually, that's a good question. I forget. I think I have 3 death and 3 famine, but I don't have 4 of either of them, I believe is what we're at right now. Let me go to base rarity. Base rarity, base rarity. Apply. I have 3 deaths and 2 famines, actually. Wow. Even less. Yeah, I did not have 4 death, unfortunately. How annoying would 4 def be on a defend team? Excessively not annoying. All you would have to do is use 1 humility against it and you would instant win. Like a humility plus mercy. And the opposing team would win so ridiculously easily. I would never bother using 4 times def. The closest you can do to that is double famine, double def. In order of def, famine, or def, famine, famine. Depending on how common Corvash is at the time, or Kraken, or anything like that. But yeah, double def, double famine is about the strongest you can get a double def team. It's not really that advised, and anything more than double def is pointless. Unless you're using like triple def with a Valkyrie. That's about the only instance where you can kind of get away with it. Though I wouldn't really advise it, because the way that def mark has been reworked recently, or not recently, it's been like that for a little while now, but it has a 1-turn delay, and this 1-turn delay still applies even if you reapply the def mark. So if you keep reapplying def marks to the enemy team, you're basically perpetually going to help keep them alive. It is actually possible if you def mark the enemy literally every single turn, which is normally only possible if you can do it off of skulls, but technically, let's say you were able to do with def. If you were to def mark literally, them literally every turn, they would never die, even if it reached turn like 50,000. Because it's supposed to be additive in that you end up having a 10% chance that will cleanse, and 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and all that kind of stuff. But you just keep refreshing it, but it also keeps refreshing the def timer. So it perpetually keeps them def marked, but also makes it so they have a 0% chance of ever dying. It's really odd, but yeah. I should look into rebalancing that in the future. Also, Maximuse, what question were you pointing at so I can answer it? You notice your guild guardian statues look different than ours. Is that because they're maxed? Yes. I did a video on that once going over how they visually changed. I think it was the 3,000 subscriber special that we did way back then. But the visuals are still the same until they change it, probably next patch. But yeah, the Guardians end up changing every 20 levels. They start at a visual during 0, and then every single time they upgrade 5 different times to a different visual, getting slightly more complex every single time. And once you reach level 100 on all of your guild statues, that reaches the max appearance of every single one of them. Not quite sure what they're going to be changing that to once they go for the new interface. As this current moment in time, that is how it works. Every 20 levels they gain slightly more detail in all of their design, which is kind of cool. A nice little addition. Hope it's something that they keep when they do change the interface for that screen. It's not like it would be that big a deal, but it's a nice little small feature. It's the little details that counts. Have you used any mini troops summoning stones managed to get a guard's avatar from one today? Wow, very nice. Yeah, I have used almost no summoning stones. I haven't really had a need to, and I want to save all of my jewels and stuff for future content that gets added, just to make sure that we'll be able to do it immediately. Especially if there's not a way at this current moment to farm them, so I do want to save all my reserves. Basically all mine, except for a few of them that I end up doing just to show what they did. But basically all my soul forge supplies I'm saving up. As you can see, we have 4,830 diamonds and several of all of the colored gem thingies. And also, let me go convert these into more diamonds. 150. I don't know, or should I wait on the colors? Nah, it's not really that important. Pretty sure diamonds are always going to be the most important thing to really craft. So let me go get those. 150 diamonds right there coming in. And that brings us now to almost 5,000, actually. By the end of the day, when we go do it later today, we will have the 5,000 diamonds then, or a little over. So sweet, milestones. It's the most diamonds I've ever had. But yeah, I'm saving them for later. But to answer your question, or at least a part of your question, we have opened them before, these things. I'd say that they're really only worth it to newer players. The biggest issue I have with these is that they cost 100 souls. Troops disenchant, or an ultra rare troop disenchants for 25 souls. That means you are basically guaranteed to lose value. You would have to get a mythic drop to be able to disenchant the troop for value. And even then, it comes out to 0.5 souls per colored jewel. So really, if you have almost every troop in the game, these little crafting things are essentially 100% useless. Honestly, they'd almost be 100% useless even if they were lower down to like 0 souls for us. But yeah, for newer players, these actually aren't too bad because they're basically gem keys for specific colors. So I've opened these before. I'm not going to do any now. They're pretty self-explanatory. When you open this, for example, let's say the blue one, it'll give you, it's basically a gem key, except it can't drop trait stones, and it will only drop you a troop of that color. But it will give you an ultra rare or higher of this color. So if we do this for a blue one, it will give us an ultra rare or higher that uses the color blue. So technically what you could do, which I believe was the whole point of this, though they scaled it really weirdly, is you can convert all of your shards into a specific color that you might need help on Guild War Day. So for example, let's say you're doing bad on red Guild War Day, you could throw it all in on red, and then just open a bunch of these, and then hopefully get a new red troop that you'll be able to use on Guild War. That is basically the premise, though the balance of it is really odd. It could definitely use a bit of rebalancing. They put it too much in I don't know, it's just too expensive for what you end up getting. Unless you're really early game and you have like almost no troops to use, that's the only time it's really worth it. Because every drop by definition is going to be devalued. Unless it's specifically something that you need to ascend something, or if it happens to be a legend or mythic, of course. That's the only time it's actually worth it. Why not use the summoning stones as a colored team maker? So on a green day, use 4 green summoning stones. I wouldn't be able to do that because the probability of me losing on a Guild War day would increase excessively. And on the Guild War day, generally, it's a good idea for us to actually win. I could do that in a PvP battle after the fact, maybe, or something. I kind of want to wait until they have infinite farming of those resources, though, before we bother doing anything Soulforge related. Because I don't want to get rid of all my Soulforge supplies, and then they do some kind of update where I actually need those. Because we already had to spend $30 initially to build up our kind of reserve of our Soulforge supplies. I don't really have to want to throw any money at it again. So I am going to be saving basically everything until something comes for us to actually use it on. And then we're going to use it on it and then do a video on it. But until then, I got to make sure there's a way to infinitely farm them for free before I go and spend those resources. Because I don't want to have to go out of my way to buy them again. Go move that up. Get herself a KrissTigger, get the reds down. And he will get some value here. Actually using a little bit of an odd team. I've never seen a Dragon Soul in that kind of composition before. Maybe a little bit outplaced. I'll go take a purple here, just so he can't do anything. Oh, nope, he still managed it. Wow. Also, that last slot, Grim on a pure red team. That I normally don't see. Generally a good idea not to block him that hard. Particularly in Furnace. I guess he's doing that to kind of counter out Kraken. Was never a big fan of doing that with that particular team. Mainly because in doing so, you end up kind of bottlenecking your mana to your Grim, making it so it almost never gets its mana. Also, hey, what's his name finally doing something? Dodging those nice casts from Grim. If nothing else, at least if worst comes to worst, we'll still win just by having him as a backup option there. So we at least got that going for us. Right here, I'm just gonna... I can't even go for Skull. What do I even go for then? Can't Shadow Dragon either, wow. There's very little we could do here. Guess we'll just take that because we get blue. Nothing else, we can kill him off the ability there. So, oh gosh. Maybe we don't. Any damage I do remove... Oh, never mind, that's enough damage to win. There we go. Wow. What on earth happened at the end of that battle? Did Tacet answer your question about a code? You got distracted by work. Oh, sure, we can go do a code. Yeah, I haven't given a code yet. We'll have 2 codes today, 2 codes tomorrow. Oh, I need to double check to see if I even have that many. I should. This is like, hey, I have a bunch of codes. No, I don't. No, we do. But let me go and hand that out. Yeah, let's go do the first code. We'll have another one later. Yeah, let's go do the first one. It's about halfway through, so go get the first one out. Let me just give me a second. Need to go all the way to the forum and into the mails. It's buried underneath many mails. Inbox, redeem codes. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have enough until next Friday. So we're good for a little while. I just need to ask them for more. Maybe we'll get some Halloween ones to go use. Oh, I should probably make sure I ask a little bit earlier. They're going to Australia PAX soon. So, Need to make sure I ask them before that happens. Okay, so I'll go put that right there. Go into here, and where's my redeem code? There we go. Put that in right there. I'm not a robot, or am I? There we go. And let me center that just a little bit more. That's gonna bother me if it's not absolutely perfect. Okay, so there we go. Centered. Progress. There. So, Tacet 78543. Quite a random code. Well, not really. It says Tacet, but then it's just like a bunch of random numbers. So there we go. Let me go get the link for you guys to where to use that, as well as copy pasting it into chat so you can conveniently do it like that instead of typing it out. Copy this. And there you guys go. There's the redeem code, and there is the place that you use it at, gemsofwar.com underneath the game code, or simply just click the link that we just posted there. Now let's go put in my invite code, put in the code, say that I'm not a robot, and boom, redeem. Oops, that doesn't work. I tried tabbing to the redeem. That's weird. You can tab and then press enter to do that I'm not a robot, yet you can't tab down to the redeem. That's odd. Anyways, oh, also your invite code's under here. I'm pretty sure most of you know, but if you just go under option setting, any of the cogs anywhere in the game, and then whatever your invite code says is what your invite code is. And that gives the normal reward of 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Let's see what we get from the 1 gem key. And today we get a useless runesmith. I don't even need to do an explanation for him. He's just called useless runesmith. Really wish they would have gave him a % chance to create a trait stone. Kind of make him like a Valkyrie, except for trait stone version of Valkyrie. Well, I don't mean like with a convert or everything, but I think they didn't do it just because they thought too many people would end up farming it. But in not doing it, they made him so ridiculously useless. Yeah. Not quite sure what they were really thinking with that. They did release him with like a 2x trait stone thingy. And at the time, that was like one of the first 2x trait stones ever. Actually, I think it literally might have been the first 2x trait stone event ever. But that doesn't actually make him viable after the fact. Because he doesn't actually have any kind of additional capability of gaining trait stone. They do it for treasure maps. I don't know why they couldn't do it for trait stones. Even if it was only like a 5 or 10% chance, it'd still be better than nothing. He'd still be useless regardless. You could have like a 100% chance for a trait stone. Actually, then he'd probably still be, he would get used, but they could give him like a 10% chance, 20%, somewhere around there, 15%, and he'd barely be used, even with that % chance to gain a trait stone. Because it would limit your team too much compared to how much value you would end up getting. Okay, so we got a board, got a bunch of colors on it. Kind of want to deny blue, but he gets a 4x green. I'm gonna let him. Nope, now he gets a 5x green. And he still ends up getting the mana after all that too. Rip. Yep, and 1 HP. Luckily the little pick-off got it. All is good. Okay, let's go and get some nice blue damage down there. Some nice splits. And somehow we actually ended up winning that pretty quickly. He must have pretty low stats. He's that one down decently. And down it goes. Yeah, no problem for the code. And if anyone has any other questions, team build you want me to do, let me know. I'll go back to something else with Merlantis. Keep using the same dragon Merlantis one. Go back to the Azuras. Azura is still my personal favorite, even more so than the dragon. First, I like the dragon's art more. But Azura, as far as the troop, is definitely more solid of a troop. Also, why on earth is it so cold? I might need to start turning on my heater. I did not actually have my heater turned on to heat. I think it's just kind of idling. Let's see. I'll move that over. The problem is a lot of days have still been like nice weather, but then we just get like cold flashes out of nowhere. Doesn't know what the weather wants to do. Okay, let's get some brown down there. We are frozen on blue, but we get all the value we need from the actual accumulation of mana. And then we'll end up getting another Rowan. Or actually, this is the first Rowan. Oh wait, oops. What am I doing? She has no stats right now. This is a bit of an issue, given that she is our full damage. Oh, it's because we're up against Krakens. Annoying Krakens. One of the biggest counter to what we're using right now are Krakens, which is unfortunate because almost everything is Krakens. So everything is the counter to us. Okay, we're frozen on yellow, which is quite unfortunate given that move right there. Gotta take it though, just so he doesn't. And that's match. He's gonna double Kraken in and win. Yeah, we'll give him some value, but it's the last chance we have of doing something. Okay, we still got this. We're not frozen. Oh wait, we are frozen on yellow. I forgot he has yellow. No! Hey, Rowan's still alive somehow. Though the problem is her damage is way too low to ever be viable in this state of the game. And down it goes. He needs that armor. That's what happens when you don't have it. Rip. Oh, nope, another Kraken team. Please stop using these teams. So many annoying teams. Which variant should we throw against it? Should I just go with the other dragon team? I almost feel like I should go with the Leviathan version, because it doesn't actually get any value against anything in the team. You could just build a team for pure value against it. It's just so many things you'd have to go work around to try to counter it. We'd have to use like the Gorgolfa Dragon Soul team or something, just because of how safe it is. Tesla Honor I don't think is going to work because of guard. And Tesla also wouldn't end up working. Just this team I don't really care for using against. I could literally just use the Forest Troll Kraken team. But that would be too cheap. I'm going to do it. Because we can. Let's see. If we're going to play like that, we'll play the same way. So we'll get ourselves a double Kraken. 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 And do we just go triple Kraken? Sure, why not? Why not? Let's go all in. If they're going to play like that, we'll play the same way. Could also put a Queen Mab in, but we're going to go Kraken spam instead. The Super Krakens. Doesn't work as good as before, but it still triggers 9 damage per extra turn if we do the extra turns one at a time, so that's still really good value. Yeah, it's Valkyrie. That's almost guaranteed to miss, though. Oh, unless it does yellow, which luckily it didn't do there. Good for us. And now we essentially just win. And every single one of those extra turns is 9 damage each. Very solid. A lot of blue. Decent amount of green. Not as much as I would want, though. That's enough to land, apparently. Yep, didn't get that. So we'll just mess around on the board. We'll double the green and lands. Don't devour. No. Well, luckily we get devour back if he ends his turn today. And he doesn't have freeze either. So we'll go double green. And now we should definitely land. And now we get double Kraken. Oh, I should have threw back Kraken first. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, good. It didn't get devoured. That would have been really bad if it did. And as match if we just get one extra turn. And there's our one extra turn. And we got all of our gold and everything else. Or revenge? I don't even know. I gotta make sure I go for them more often though. Well, pretty much every revenge I ever get, I go for. Like this guy. Gotta get it. So much extra resources. Double the gold and we get extra glory. Basically double the glory too, in a way. Because the amount of glory you get from revenge is pretty much double. I actually forget the exact amount off the top of my head, even though I literally just looked at it. You know what? We can look by looking back into stream. Let me go click live. That'll bring it to whatever we're currently at. Come on, load. Load stream, load! Oh, while we're waiting, let's just go. It's not wanting to load. Seriously, it's frozen. Is my stream on right now? It should be. Hello, everyone! I don't know why. My end is buffering right now, trying to get to the live version. Is anyone else having issues with the stream? That's odd. Pretty sure if I refreshed it, that would fix it. It's being all buggy right now. It's just doing a buffering screen. Let's see. We'll take the green to the blue, and then just kill it off with a Kraken poke right there. Wait, it is buffering or it isn't buffering? Oh wait, but how would you hear me if it was? Oh, it's definitely on. Oh, okay. That yes too was it being on. Okay, that's weird. Let me just click refresh then. That'll probably fix it. Oh, I don't even know what I was gonna check. I think it was something with the, I don't even know. Probably wasn't doing board. Hey, there we go. Now it's working. I'm not gonna bother looking back at whatever I was gonna do, though. Seems to be buffering weirdly. I was gonna check to see how much Glory of Revenge was worth. See if it actually was double the amount that you would get from a normal battle, basically. So my normal battles do give slightly more than some other people's normal battles, but you know what I mean. Alright, let's go and see what we can do here. So, right off the bat, take these blues. Go throw the greens down. And get that. Let him do his little Kraken. Take a huge amount of green. Get another Kraken. Get a green double. Go from there. And then just throw down a billion Krakens. Oh, didn't take the green down there. That could actually be a big mistake that cost us the game. I really need to start backlining my Krakens. I'm so used to casting from the top down, but against Kraken teams, you really need to cast from the bottom up. That is match. That technically was my fault, though, for not taking that one extra turn. I don't think it made that big of a difference, but it still gave him some extra board control and everything. Did I miss anything else in chat? Oh, how come you never see me in PvP? I do not know. Well, you'll never see my other account because it's literally in your guild. But as far as my main account, I have no clue why you don't see me. It's probably because you're such a ridiculously high level. You're like 500 levels above me. Actually, I think you're almost like 600 levels above me these days. You're glitching out the game because no one's even remotely that high. You have almost a 50% increase on like the second place person, or maybe not that high. Like you have like 40% more than the second place person, or 30%. I don't know what the actual percent would come down to. Or like what? It's a 300 or 400 gap between you and second place. You have like the largest gap that has ever existed between the highest level in the game and the second highest. Not to mention the average person is like 500 levels below you. Or actually, that's not even average. That's just the average late game person is 500 levels behind you. The average person in general is probably like 800 levels behind you. Hello, Adelaham? Welcome. Does the code work on console or not? No, unfortunately, the redeem codes do not work for console. They are looking into eventually getting them onto console. There are legal issues with them being able to release it on console, though. Which is the reason why they haven't done it. As far as the coding end is concerned, they could literally do it in like a day or two. It wouldn't take them that much work. But the biggest issue that comes is the whole legal issue of them giving them out for PS4 and Xbox One, which is why they haven't been able to do it yet. They are looking into it and will hopefully be able to do so in the future. At which case we will definitely have codes for it whenever they do end up sorting that out. But at this current moment in time, they have not sorted that out. They tried last year and they weren't successful. Not sure if they're going to try again this year. And the year's almost over, so we'll see if they get around to it at some point. It's not really a high priority on their list, obviously. So it's something that's kind of just on the back burner. But we'll see if they get around to it eventually. Okay, so board right here. Let's go double greens. That was a fail. That's double green. Already lost. I might need to go bring back the Queen map variants. Might need to bring it back. Okay, please don't miss. Got it. Nice. At least we got one of the important devours. Now we just need another one. We're frozen on green right now, though there's almost no green, so that's not too big a deal as long as we cleanse very soon. Come on, cleanse very soon. We need you. We'll move that down. Yep, why'd I give him free stuff? At least he can't freeze us anymore. Oh, we get a green. Oh, an extra turn. So we'll take a Skull Poke. Take it that way so we have a chance for another Skull Poke, and we do indeed get it, plus everything else. And now we can just destroy him. So throw that down. And that appears to be matched. Double the greens. That down. Double Kraken. Dead. Wait, am I ignoring your question? Sorry. Is there any new mythics next week? No. Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. Sorry. Here's the full list of the mythics coming out. But yes, next week is Drifting Sands. It's also one day before my birthday. But it's Drifting Sands. It's essentially going to be a troop kind of like Kraken, except it has a 100% chance to kill any enemies that are poisoned in the last 2 slots, though it can only cast once. Will it be viable? Probably not. It's going to have way too high of a mana cost. It's going to have, last I saw, it's going to have a 30 mana cost, and it's just going to be too high to be viable. But yeah, that's what's coming. And yes, there is indeed a mythic. Not for console, I don't believe, but for PC mobile there is. For console, the biggest thing you guys having next week is the Merlantis Kingdom event, which you would use all the event keys for. Also, next week we also have the Halloween event. I don't know if console's specifically getting it. That'd be weird if they get it a week after. But I know PC Mobile is getting the Golvania event, which is of course meant to be the Halloween event. It's the same reason they keep doing Glacial Peaks and stuff for Christmas. Do it as a holiday event for there. Just completed 250 treasure hunt. Scored 27 times, 60 moves. Very nice. I don't even know how many I have because I already ended up claiming them. I should have looked earlier. Not that relevant though. I normally just rush through them to get them completed as quickly as possible due to them being the best value when you do it that way. Yeah, I should probably go do some more treasure hunts. We're actually pretty close. I think we're like the halfway mark. And one of them's gold, and I do need quite a bit more gold this week given my extremely low amount from other things I've done the previous week. But yeah, right now if I go check, how far are we? We'll go do a couple treasure maps. We're at 114 out of 250. There's some gems on the line if we do go all the way. I guess I'll go for it. There's quite a bit that we can do with 80 gems. That'd be a lot more useful on my other account though. So maybe I'll go do it on my other account. I've really, out of every single Let's Play account, I haven't been playing this account as much, or the other Let's Play account. I think the main reason is the way that I have to access the account is completely different now, and it's a lot more inconvenient than before. Even though it's technically easier, it's not what I'm used to. And because of that, I just barely ever do it. Because I can't do anything on my main Steam account if I am on that. Whereas before, I could still do stuff on my main Steam account while also playing on my Let's Play account. This is mainly an issue because whenever I try doing stuff like off-stream, when I am doing multiple things at once, it is quite a bit harder to basically play on my other account because I basically have to be playing just on that other account. I can't be doing other things simultaneously, which makes it a bit harder to actually farm it up. Whereas before I could just have it in the background and just kind of have it play on the side as I'm doing like anything else. But can't really do that as easily due to the format that they changed it to, which is a bit unfortunate. Looks like the code is dead. I wouldn't be surprised that it is dead already. It's been up for almost half an hour as well, even though it hasn't actually... Wow, the time has flown by. Has it actually been half an hour since we launched that? I'm pretty sure it was around 11:30. Maybe it was 11:38. It was probably like 11:38, 11:39, so it just seemed like a lot of time. But yeah, it probably is dead by now. We will have another one though. We'll have another one likely within the next hour or so, the redeem code. We'll have another 2 tomorrow. And another one on Monday. Our format for them, for any of you that don't know, is we give out 2 on Fridays, 2 on Saturdays, and 1 on the Friday night stream. Okay. I'll go throw that down. And maybe a Kraken. Browns. Oh, when do you think they will finally catch up PC and mobile and console? I would assume within the next week or 2. Because right now console is 1 week behind. Mythics, I believe, are also 1 mythic behind. Particularly since we're getting the another mythic this Friday. Or not this Friday, you know, not today, but next week we get another mythic. So it really comes down to when they finally close that last little bit of gap. Because all they'd have to do is double up once on everything. Once on Mythic, once on... actually, Mythics they've been running every 2 weeks for console, just to try to catch them up. So they already kind of doubled up on that already. But all they have to do is double up on one single event. And they basically caught console up to PC Mobile. So maybe around the 3-year anniversary. I would assume by the 3-year anniversary they would get it caught up. And that's going to be like November 22nd, I believe it is. Somewhere around there. So I would say by December 1st, though this is just speculation. But by December 1st, I would assume console would be 100% caught up to PC Mobile. Since it's already so ridiculously close right now. It could be even sooner than that, who knows. But yeah, pretty good chance that by the 3-year anniversary, console will be 100% caught up. Which is like mid to late November. So for all we know, could literally happen at any week now. Because as I mentioned, all I have to do is double up the event once and boom, you're basically caught up. Okay, let's go and take the green there. Come on, Kraken! Get that last little bit of hit in. He has such little HP. How's he not dead already? There we go. The Devour. The overkill! The super overkill. Alright, let's go get our gold. We're like, what? Like 11 moves short of the next goal in the event thing? If I don't go all the way, I should at least go get that gold. It is just sitting there. Okay, we need 36 moves. That's actually a little bit more. But still, that's not too many. That's not where I need to go for that. Let's go to Treasure Hunt and see what we can do. We're only going to do a couple maps for now. Let's get a couple in. And just move them super quick. Oh no, we should probably take our time on one of the maps. Maps are quite a bit of fun to actually mess around with. Problem is, they're just not worth their time and resources. So, of course, on a week like this, if there was any time that they're even remotely worth it, it is a week where they are the event gem, since they will end up giving you a bunch of extra resources on top of the resources that they already end up giving you. It's kind of nice in that regard. Also, ever since I saw the fact that Puzzle Quest 2 had this exact same minigame, I was like, ah. Really? There's so many minigames that the old Puzzle Quest games had that are actually pretty solid that they haven't bothered implementing into the actual Gems of War. Even though they probably already have the coding for it, because they did work heavily on all the Puzzle Quest games. Particularly Puzzle Quest 1, 2, and Galactica. So, kind of surprised that they haven't really bothered doing anything with the additional minigames. Though they added Soul Forge, which technically is a minigame, but not in like the traditional sense where it's something completely different. Treasure Hunt is technically the only thing I would even consider in this game to truly be a minigame, because all other minigames that are in this game still use the same mechanics that a normal battle basically use. It's just different parameters around the battle that get applied to it. So, yeah. It's basically the only true minigame. And there we go. Alright, that was a pretty pitiful map, but the quicker we go, the more turns we end up getting on it, and quicker cycle on the maps. The quicker that you can actually get to the end of a map cycle is actually helpful, mainly because you, the amount of reward that you already have accumulated from all these resources that are on the board are basically already achieved. From the second you start up a map, you've already earned a set amount of reward for basically doing nothing. And then all you really have to do is just end the map. And that's generally what most of these are that we're doing right now. Is what we're trying to do is our main goal is actually to end the map as quickly as we possibly can. Just to claim the rewards that we end up getting for it. Because this becomes way quicker than actually playing out the map to its fullest. Unless we do really, really good on the map, it is quicker just doing it by means of sheer speed. Assuming you actually have the resources to be throwing multiple maps. Of course, if you're a newer player, you still play them out like you normally would without trying to rush it. But as someone who has more maps than they ever know what to do with, you generally just rush through them, as that will per hour give you more resources than not rushing through them. What else we need to move? Move that one over. Trying to run out of moves. So it does look like we're going to reach the next 10 mark. Might even go higher just from random sheer luck of things cascading where we kind of need them to. And yes, I do see all the 5 times that I'm missing. Let's see, like that one, which I didn't actually miss that time. Hard constantly seeing the first, taking the first move you see and then hoping that that's the 5 times. Let's see, should only need a few more. Hey, another gem. I'm mainly doing it for the gold, actually, surprisingly. I never thought I'd say that. I'm doing treasure hunt for the gold. That is normally not something you would ever say, because treasure hunt actually gives a lot less gold than what PvP would normally give. But given that we're so close to the next objective, which happens to be pure gold, this actually is quicker than PvP right now, up until the fact when we get our thing, than actually doing gold. I mean, than actually doing PvP. So yeah, this new gold farming meta. Just do it up until the gold events within the treasure hunt thingy. We're already so close that might as well complete it out. And most of this I end up actually doing on Monday, all the progress I have on maps so far. Because on Monday was the, I was trying to do it for the Azuros, because I need, if you're wondering like why have I already done so many maps this week, because normally I don't. The whole reason for doing so was to try to get more Azuros. To make sure that I would be able to get the kingdom maxed, and we were easily able to do that. I kind of got a little bit too many Azuras, but I wanted to rush that just so we would end up having them. Ooh, this is pretty bad. We'd even get up to 30. I am trying to aim for 30 every single time. Not aiming for 30 does make this a bit slower. It would be optimal if we could do 30, 40 every single time. That doesn't always happen though. But that, as far as sheer speed, that is what we're really aiming for. To try to get our as many event gems as we possibly can in as short of amount of time as possible. Let me go fix this. Let's see. Yeah, code is max. We'll have another one in the near future. And we'll have another redeem code soon too. When do they think? Oh, never mind. I already answered that. Maybe move that over. Take that down. Take that over. Move that. Move that. Take the other one. And we'll go from there. Extra turn! We still have that voice actor doing some of this tech, or some of the chat stuff. It's one of the few instances in this game where that voice still actually applies. There are many other instances where we never get it whatsoever. I miss him for whenever you get a legendary from a chest, I think. When it used to say, legendary. Or something along those lines. Pretty funny. Let's see. It was also really obvious whenever you got a legend. Like, way more so than it is now. So at the time, legends were like, whoa! Whereas now they're like, eh. Another legend for the pile. Well, legends were like the tier of mythics when the game first released. As far as like how few people had a lot of them. And there we go, 41. That's basically exactly what I want for these maps. But I think we already reached... Nope, we didn't. How many more do we need? Pretty much be right on top of it. Let's see. I know, we still have 23. Wow, does it go slower than I thought they did? I must have done a lot earlier then. Let's see. Oh, gonna move that up. Get that going. It could have also been that I'm not cascading as much. I'll go move that over. Like a board like this is what's going to give us the higher score for them. Because we're getting way more turns than what we normally would in about the same amount of time. Just from sheer luck of where things are falling. Yep, like that. Like that word could have we've known that would have happened. I'm gonna move that down. That actually would be quite an interesting strategy if they did allow you to see above the board on a treasure hunt minigame. That'd probably be a bit too broken for all the bots though, because there are still accounts that bot this minigame, but I don't know how common it is anymore. In the past, they used to do some kind of glitch that would inflate They could basically change the rewards of treasure hunt into whatever. They can make a single one of these like bronze coins worth 1 billion resources. I'm pretty sure every single one of these accounts has been banned by now. And they've put in like precautions to the game to kind of prevent that. But I know that was a bit of an issue at one point within the game. I believe that's kind of been fixed. Okay, well, let's go move that up. Put that one over. What else do we need to move around? We're up to 39 right now, so the goal is basically to get up to 50 since we're so close to it already. And that should be manageable. Let's see why not. Pretty close to it. Move that up. Yep, and that is enough already. Now we just take whatever moves and let's win. So we want to deliberately not gain extra turns now. As I'm taking extra turns. Well, if nothing else, we could reach the next milestone. Unintentionally getting all the ones we need. Let's see. We're gonna drop like a few before, it looks like. Because I didn't go all in on it. Okay, yeah, we're gonna lose here. Nothing I could possibly do to try to get that alliance. And that is indeed match, so we're gonna stop like halfway. And there we go, getting resources. All of the trait stones. Yeah, I think we need, what is that then? 3 more maps? I think it's around 3 more maps or so. Let's see. Move that over. Extra ton. That one. Can't do it just like him. He does it too good. He does his own voice too well. I gotta move that over. Yourself the 5 times. That one. Tacet, what do you think of implementing a troop with a freeze all enemies on 4 or 5 times matches? That would be the very, very, very annoying troop. It would probably be the most annoying troop in the entire game, regardless of what its ability does. Regardless of what its ability does. If that's what's coming from Glacial Peaks on Christmas, a lot of people will think that as a Cole's gift. But yeah, I think a lot of people would hate if that was to ever happen to the game. A 4 times freeze. 4 times death mark, a 4 times freeze, stuff like that. If it does it to all enemies, would just be way, way too powerful. Even on Death Knight class, they ended up cutting it back because they were like, yeah, that's probably going to be too powerful. They ended up realizing it too before they released it. Death Knight class originally was going to have a death mark enemies whenever you take an extra turn. And this was when it got buffed as well, back when it had a 0 turn delay. So it would have been the most broken thing ever at the time. These days, it actually wouldn't be too broken. But I do like the change that they made to it because there's a different strategy that you can do to it now. Like with sacrifice and stuff like that. Where you can kind of just kill it out and go for a really big buff. It doesn't really fit the whole knight thing as much. But it does end up working out as far as from a mechanical standpoint. To some of us that only have a handful of legendary troops, it's nice to get one. Yeah, I know on my other account it's pretty nice to still get a legend. I think the first couple 100 hours of playing is when it's normally like really hyped to get a legend. Everything beyond that point, it's like, legends. This is like a really new one. It's the only time when it's kind of interesting then. Yeah, for the most part, I don't really see much value in legends, at least on my main account. It's relatively easy for us to get most of them. The only really hard ones these days are the event key related ones, but that may change in the future. Once they actually rework event keys and all that. Plus they might be lowering their price, and if they do end up doing that, honestly, I think they could lower all the way down to the cost of a gem key, and it wouldn't even hurt too much. That would be a 50% decrease, though, or should I say 33%? But yeah, they're 50% more costly than what a what are they called? Than what the gem chests currently are. 50% more expensive than that is what the event keys are, which they're definitely not 50% more worth it. They're just happen to be 50% more expensive, despite that not actually reflecting their value. Okay, he's entangled, so technically I don't need to take that skull, though since there's no blues or browns to bother taking, I guess we just re-skull him. Like that, and he's took some of the mana I need to go get our mana rolling. Oh wait, never mind. There's a blue just sitting there. I didn't even see that until it started flashing. Good thing it started. Okay, we'll do ours. There's enough green that should land, and it does. Very nice. Go take green, take brown, get a refire. As we get that last little bit of mana. And now we can just start throwing out all the Krakens. Too bad we didn't get all the Krakens though. Oh, come on! Not this again. Okay, now we have one really big Kraken to have to deal with. We'll throw it down. Should be able to get it. Yep, got it again. Let's play a bit better and do it from backline this time. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Don't even need it. Got the Devour instantly. I'll take it. Also, what do you think of it? Oh, never mind. I already read that. Oh, cleanse an ally on 4 times or 5 times matches. I feel like that would be too weak for the most part. Unless it was cleanse all allies, that would be a bit different. But cleansing only one ally on 4 times or 5 times matches isn't really going to serve much of a purpose. Very few instances would actually make that viable. Not to mention, even if it was, let's say, cleanse all allies, the freeze would most likely trigger before the cleanse. So, for example, let's say you had a troop that has the ability to cleanse all allies on 4 times matches, but it's frozen. It would end up losing its turn, but it would get off the cleanse. So, to a degree, that would end up kind of defeating the point. I know, of course, it's kind of like to counter out stuff like that and all that, but yeah, it wouldn't be able to extra turn against that. I don't believe the order would be in a way that would allow that to happen. And for balance reasons, they might, even if it's not, they might have to deliberately make it that way, just so it wouldn't be too overpowered if they did add like a full cleanse on extra turn or something. But yeah, I think that would be perfectly fine. A single cleanse would definitely be way too weak, unless its other traits were ridiculously good, and its ability. But I could definitely see a 4 times cleanse making it into the game at some point, as an extra turn capability. Okay, I'm just going to go for mana so we can double Kraken here. Don't really have much of a need to go for much else there. And go for Kraken number 1. Got some mana, very nice, and some cascaded mana. Kraken number 2, kind of didn't go over that well, but we'll go get a doubling of the green, which also ends up missing. Wow. And that does give him KrissTigger as well, though it is within a Kraken range, so not too big a deal, especially if that Kraken ends up landing. Please don't miss. Got it. Nice. Very nice. And we got the Devour. Got everything we needed from that. Very nice. Double the greens. All 3 of them. Probably shouldn't have even needed to cast that, but then again, there wasn't really much else to throw. And then one more little poke will do it. How do we go for it? I don't think there is a way to go for it. We could go try for the sky green gem. And we got it. Nice. Very nice. And that did 9 damage to it due to each of the Kraken doing 3. And that is enough to take it out. I just noticed my shirt is like all the way to the side there. I have no clue how that's even happening. It's like so close to my neck on one side, but then it's like not doing anything on the other side. I've never seen that happen. I have no clue why it's leaning so far to the left. Probably because the blanket's like tugging on there or something. Gotta stay warm somehow. Oh, I wonder if Queen Mab is good right now. You can normally tell whenever the most overpowered troop is, because if you just look at like either screen, it becomes the entire troop. Okay, casual battle doesn't do it, but there we go. Triple Queen Mab. I wonder if Queen Mab is decent. I should probably just go put Queen Mab on the team I'm using now. I keep not doing it because I want the higher damage, but the utility of having her as a freeze is probably better than the higher damage. Well, he's already ahead of us due to that surge, and we missed our cascade chance, and now he has full mana. I'll deny him on green, so he hopefully misses, and he doesn't. Now we're frozen on a core troop. Go distract. I don't mind if he keeps doing it. We're already entangled. We're not frozen on blue, so we actually can go for that. And we do indeed land it. I could go double the greens, though it'd probably make more sense to wait until we actually cleanse. So we will do so and wait. And not much else to take, so we will keep as many purples, as many blues on the board as we can. Of course, we want to keep as many greens at the moment on the board as we can. And then we can just throw the greens right there. So we do land it. Take everything else that we need to. Right that over. Put that over. And then just triple Kraken or double Kraken. We get Kraken number 1, Kraken number 2, and we'll be good to go. We'll get his greens down. He'll get a Kraken. No, that backline hit. Why you do this? No! The double kill. Wow. Well, that switched quickly. Can't do anything with the skull. Entangled at the moment, but need to get rid of it just so he doesn't do anything. We're not frozen at the moment, at least. I could try for it. Let's go. Got it. Now we just need the last little bit of mana. We're going to try keeping that all the way to the left because it's going to take the skull and that will give us a 5 times the green. So even if we don't get full mana right here, we'll just be able to do that. And now we can throw a Kraken. Please devour. There we go, we won. If we didn't devour it, we actually could have lost. But we're all good because he has nothing to use his stuff on now, and we can just poke him out. All we need are a few extra turns or just get to full amount of mana. So I guess we'll go for the full mana route instead. Or just a extra turn damage. That is 3 damage per extra turn. So it doesn't look like it's going to be needed since we can just Kraken him out. Still can't take the skull, but down he goes to that. Should put a modifier on some keys as an option, like add 25k souls for the keys to give more % chance for legendary, etc. That would be cool if they added some kind of focus system to them. Maybe even using the new jewels or something. Some kind of focus system to like kind of focus it out. Someone made a idea for that too at one point. Though they kind of implemented that with the other gem, but not as exactly so. But someone at one point suggested if we could have basically a color option on the keys to be able to select like what color we want on the keys, maybe at like some kind of just slightly extra expense. So on this screen we could like set it to we want red or yellow troops, or we could set it to do we just want yellows or we just want reds or something like that. And then all the keys you would open would end up giving drops like that. Technically, that's kind of like how the new system is in the Soulforge, where you can just go and craft something of a specific color. Though the problem with that, though, is they're way too expensive doing it that way. Whereas other ways is not really viable. Alright. Stretch. Okay, well, let's throw down the Kraken. Get that down. Get a skull poke. Where to go? Take the browns. Double the greens. Go from there. If there's any teams or if you guys need help building teams, have questions, anything of the such, feel free to leave them in chat and we will make sure to go over all of them. And as matched, down he goes. Nice little poke. Hello, Werf Stream. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. It's the only problem with putting like a blanket on. It makes me want to take a nap. I actually ended up getting a really soft blanket too a couple days ago for my bed because I haven't had like any warm blankets to put on it. So I ended up getting a new one the other day, which was actually on a sale on top of a sale on top of a sale. Retail stores are so weird. I do miss flea market prices, I do have to say, but for something like that, for bedding, obviously, I wanted to buy it new. But yeah, there's not really any good flea markets around me, which is a little bit annoying. All of them are way too overpriced. Yeah, it's a, I don't know, it's kind of weird, because even though the neighborhood I used to live in New Jersey was a little bit more towards the upper end, the flea markets there were actually towards the like mid to low tier, but because of that you could get like so many things for such great prices. Though here it's more like a double middle, yet everything is like so ridiculously overpriced, as if it's some kind of high-end area at the flea markets. I never really understood that near where I am in South Carolina right now. In New Jersey was where it was a lot more reasonable. Oh, so that's something else too. Like in New York, being able to get like dollar slices, but then if I try finding a dollar slice in New Jersey, it's almost impossible. Yet you can make like almost twice as much in in New York as you can make in New Jersey. Yet there's prices of some things that are just drastically cheaper in New York, oddly enough. It's really weird how some of the prices of things work that way. But yeah, food's actually more expensive for me, even though the average wage of a person here is way lower than in New Jersey. Food's actually cheaper in New Jersey than it is in South Carolina, or at least in Myrtle Beach anyways. It's mainly because of how many taxes are on the food. Let's see. Go move that down. What else do we need? I'll go just take a skull. Nothing else, we'll get the entangle there. And then throw down the Kraken. And double the green. Only got a little bit of value there. Not really too much. A high-end flea market? There are such things as high-end flea markets. And I wasn't talking about auction houses or anything. Like, I mean, like, legitimate high-end flea markets. It is possible. I'll go throw down greens. I have been to some in the past when I used to sell... well, I used to mainly sell basically anything I could get my hands on. But the core of my stuff was basically just toy-related and articles of clothing. Just to kind of get rid of, but it was a good majority on basically just toys of various kinds, particularly Legos. And there were some somewhat higher flea markets that I did used to go to sell the Legos, because quite a few of them I could barely get any money for at a standard flea market, because it's a lot harder trying to sell sets, particularly more expensive sets at flea markets, because people will only value things at how useful it is to them, not at their actual value of the good. So it's a lot harder to sell that kind of stuff at a normal flea market. For the smaller scrappy stuff, it's actually easier to sell because you can sell them for such a low price that you end up making more of a profit on it than if you were to go to higher market. Because at higher markets, you have to deal with the fact that they would barely sell, so you have to charge more for them. But at a lower flea market, you charge barely anything for them and just sell more in bulk to make your profit instead of selling for a higher price. Let's see. What do we even do here? I guess we go for a skull, just to entangle him. I want to try getting the second Kraken up. Easiest way to likely do this now would be to go for the troll, though. We'll go for that. Hopefully we... Oh, come on. I was trying to... Oh, come on. We would unfroze. Why you did this to us, Queen Mab? See, if this was a Queen Mab, we wouldn't have gotten frozen by Queen Mab. Queen Mabception. Alright, we're not frozen on blue yet. Now it's impossible for us to be frozen on blue, so go! Destroy them. Success! Well, it actually worked. Thank you for unfreezing us on blue. Actually, I don't even think we were frozen on it. Wow, we're getting a lot of arcane traits then. I should really be using the other guy that's giving us 2 times, because we would have gotten so much trait stones by now. I keep not using it because of all the Krakens. But there's a lot of trait stones to be earned, that is for sure. Also, I forgot if I said hi, but hello, Worfstream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, team build, you want me to do anything of the such, feel free to leave them all in chat. We'll get around to them. What to move? What to move? We'll go take, I guess, red or yellow? Red or yellow? Red and yellow now. I wish there was a way to take both. Actually, there might be. Nope, didn't get it. Didn't get it. We'll just take a yellow over here. Drop that down. Get a Valkyrie somewheres. Red, green, yellow, brown, other colors. All the colors of the rainbow. Alright, let's go for red or something. We'll go for that. Get that down. Move that up. Explode all the things. And go from there. We'll get that down. Get a nice buff on it. Move that over. Yes, buff, cast. So we buff it, we cast it, we get a Valkyrie to fill it back up, and then we win, essentially. Yeah, that really threw me off that they reworked the appearance of War and Peace. They reworked all the graphics for all the double-colored weapons. Is one of the real... Oh, I did not mean to cast Valkyrie here. Oops. I meant to cast the other one. Fail. There's nowhere to cast a Valkyrie. That's why I meant to cast that. Rip. I could actually lost us the battle. Let's see. No, we actually stole one. So it cost us time. Go move that over. And then we can just get a Valkyrie down. Yeah, let's do it on green. Oh, that wasn't actually enough. Well, we could just take that then. And that is enough. Assuming it doesn't revive, and it doesn't. And there we go. Also, we are approaching level 1,200. It's still a long ways though. We're also not top 50 levels anymore. We're now top 100. I think we're 78th last I checked. Highest level in the game, somewhere around there. We are falling. But yeah, there's no way I'm getting 1,200 anytime soon, unless I was to deliberately try farming it, which we could do, but it takes a lot of time to go out of our way to do that. I think I'd have to spend about 40, 50, somewhere around there hours to be able to close that gap, which is definitely a lot of time for something so trivial. Okay, well, we'll go move the yellow there and get ourselves an explosion. That will give us a full Valkyrie to refire on. If we actually had alignment, that is, which we don't, so we'll just throw again. And one yellow short, I mean green short, though we do have a Valkyrie. Again, nowhere's to use it though. No red, no purple, no red. I just said red again. No green. We'll move that down. Does that help us at all? No. So we just explode again. And now we can shell into going into there. Oh, don't get a Kraken. We pretty much instantly lose if we does do a Kraken. Okay, that also helps us auto lose. Well, next plan. Go through that. It already broke through. Rip. Well, gotta leave the blues there. How much I can do about that. Yeah, this is over. It got us. So yeah, I can try getting one more buff on it, though it's just gonna get displaced like instantly with all the damage he has. Yep, never mind. Now we're gonna be able to get one more buff. Okay, well then. Well, that's match. Yeah, he's way too durable to actually kill that out. There's no way we're getting through that battle. Yep, back to Krakens then. We're gonna play like that. We'll go back to Kraken. Probably use the Queen map variant. The Queen map variant's literally just what he's using. But the Kraken variant is quicker if we do not get frozen. The problem is we need to not get frozen. Pretty bad board so far. I guess we'll... Do we go all in on the Kraken, or do we try denying him? I guess we deny him. Oh, and he ends up getting the mana off the top. Really nice. That's unfortunate. Let's see. We'll try for Skull. Didn't get it. Didn't even get the Surge. And he gets Kraken. He does not get the Devour, though I almost kind of would have preferred if he did. Because it would have unfrozen us if he would have gotten that. We'll throw a Kraken here. Or do we double greens? Really, both of them are almost pointless. I'll do that, since we don't actually lose our turn. Same as red, we don't lose our turn on that. And now we can just go for Skull and hope for our blue there, which would preserve our turn, which we didn't get. We got a triple blue into a triple yellow. Not exactly what we need. Doesn't really give us much value at all. Really, any value. Let's go move that. Want to double these greens, but still can't. Keep getting Tango back on him. Now I'm just going to have to. There's barely any board to work with here. And sure, we'll get a Kraken here. And that almost kills it just then and there. We can just go for this into a Kraken and pretty much have the match. We are frozen on both of them, so we'll just throw that down for the sheer damage. Throw a double Kraken, and that is matched, particularly if one of them devour. Or not. Ow. Don't you dare. No, that is not what I meant by one of them devouring. Oh, it's still winnable. We'll go play it out for a little bit. Because there's a chance that we can still win this. Never mind, we lost. There's a chance! Oh, nope. 2 seconds later. Oh, 4 times speed will do that too. That combined with the Kraken meta right now. It's like, we're about to win, lost. Or we're about to lose. Already lost. Like mid-sentence, the entire battle can be completed. I'll go take the... Oh, that is not the color I actually meant to take. Though, technically that was the right color to do, though. Even though that wasn't the one I was intending to take. It probably should just go all the way in on Forest Straw and then do this. That was the better move, even though I didn't mean to take it. Okay, well, that doesn't really bring us that far, though, unfortunately. So, we'll take a blue here. Oh, wait, I can't. Yes, I can. I'm gonna take that down. Better mana. Nice extra turn right there. Not frozen on that. Also not frozen on greens if we want to try getting it. I believe I am. Oh, didn't get it. Oh, at least we got double Kraken. We're pretty much perpetually frozen, though. I'll get Kraken number 1. Very nice. And it's pretty much match. Double the greens. Get a nice amount of damage there. And now we just keep throwing Krakens until we inevitably win. And that is matchup. Give me... Don't. End your turn. There we go. Let's see, what does that even bring us? We got another map. Should we go use it? I guess we'll go use it to split up PvP a little. Oh, revenge battle. Okay, we have another 100,000. How much more gold do we even need? I think I still need to give like, oops, wrong menu. I think I still need to give like 400,000 gold or something. Yes, I do. I need to give 138,000 more gold. So let's go give 100,000 now. And we'll have the rest of it probably early tomorrow when we end up getting that last little bit. And whatever else just goes into next week. Let me see, where's my contribute? There we go. Get another 100 in. We have so little gold because of last week. And somewhat this week too. I did open gold keys just slightly by several thousand. Which is a couple 100,000 gold. Otherwise we'd already have it done. Oh, not the silence. The one counter to this team. I normally don't bother with it, mainly because that happens pretty often. Where it basically just cleanses instantly. Like you can see, we're already double cleansed. Sometimes your silent one will stay silent forever, yet the enemy team would be like pure cleansed already. Okay, I'm gonna go for Green Surge. He will get some value there, but as long as we can go crazy on Kraken. Oh no, but then he got the Drain! Okay, we got our Kraken back up. We got a chance. Nope, never mind. We got the silence. Also, isn't it really weird how like the icon just completely shifts spots depending on like where the thing is? Like depending on what your traits are at the time or what your status effects are and stuff, or if you have your ability up, it will change location where it appears. Like normally the silence mark will appear in the top left corner, indicating that the troop is silenced. But yeah, if you have your ability up, it'll go over top your magic value. Alright, we'll just move that to the side. This is probably a loss, especially if he throws Corvash or just kills it. That works too. Yes, that is retreat worthy because we have no way to get around that. Really easy team to kill too, but he ended up locking us down with a silent one, which made it impossible for us to actually do anything there. Okay. Well, let's go and move that up. Go and get the green. Take the other green. Go throw a Kraken down and go from there. Nice Kraken. Get our double on the greens. Big damage. Double Kraken. Go. Kraken number 1. Bit miss. Kraken number 2. Double the greens in a moment. Let's see. Move that one up. Get our double on green. Go down the Kraken. Double the green. Come on. Why do you have to do that? And there's no way he's surviving this many Krakens. 1! Okay, 2 revives so far. Let's see. Will we go for a 3rd? Nope. You're not getting a 3rd. No one shall survive 3 Kraken casts. There we go. Actually, they sometimes do. It is possible to. Though very unlikely. too much damage. Yeah, Dragon Soul's really annoying with that revive. I'm really curious if they ever will rework him in the future. He has the exact same trait as Inferno King, technically. He used to have his own unique trait, but it was so broken in a bad way that they basically discontinued it and just gave him what he has now. And they said that they were eventually going to change it, but they have never actually changed it since then. They're like, yeah, or not even probably. It's like, yeah, we're going to change it to something in the future. And then they just left it as is. Just they didn't technically specify exactly when, but they didn't do anything. It's like, here's the troop. We'll make this change, and then we'll just leave it like that. I don't really mind, though. Dragon Soul in its current state is perfectly fine. It doesn't really need a different final trait. And at this point, everyone's used to it having the current final trait that it has. So I wouldn't really mind it staying as is, but it is a little bit odd that it's basically the same exact thing as Inferno King. Other than the fact that it doesn't actually summon Inferno King, of course, to summon itself. But of course, that's the same thing that Inferno King does, is summon itself. And let's match off the Kraken, and we don't need to worry about RNG, because that's already enough damage to take it out. So not even needed. What was Dragon Soul's broken trait? It was you would take control of another ally on your team when Dragon Soul dies. So basically, unless you got stunned, it was impossible to not have Dragon Soul on your team. Which in premise sounds really good, though on paper it was pretty bad because you would overwrite the troop whenever you die on your Dragon Soul. So let's say, for example, we put Dragon Soul in first slot, and let's say we have a Forest Troll in second slot for whatever reason. If our Dragon Soul dies, there's a 1 in 3 chance that it'll go, or there's a guaranteed chance that it'll overwrite another one of your characters. But of course, it's evenly split among each of them. So let's say you go and overwrite your second slot. Let's say your Forest Troll had full mana. It will overwrite it, but it doesn't gain any of the mana or any of the stats or anything like that. It just completely overwrites over top another one of your allies. So if you're using a buff team, it was pointless to use it with a Dragon Soul, which made very little sense since Dragotar existed. And if you were trying to like use a specific team, like a double combo, and you were just using Dragon Soul as a tank, you basically have a random Dragon Soul that would keep reviving off of on top of all your other needed troops. So it was really, really bad. It was the first trait ever introduced to the game that the troop was better without the trait than with the trait. That is how bad the old Dragon Soul trait used to be. It seems really odd that you could possibly add something that would make something worse, but they managed in all their creativity to find a trait that managed to make a troop weaker, not stronger. Can I make a team with Uriali? Oh yeah, sure, we can go do an Uriali team. Anything in particular you want me to do? Otherwise, it's probably just going to be some kind of Valkyrie or Uriali variants of some sorts. Unless there's some kind of specific. I might end up doing the Crimson Bat version of it as well, because Crimson Bat you'll be able to get next week, so even if you don't have it now, you'll have it next week. Also, the red-blue trait stones, if you don't already have it, a Crimson Bat traded, are obtainable literally right now on PC Mobile. So if you needed them, they're available, and you can go get them. They're 200 glory each right now, which is also relatively cheap. They are on the weapon, so you're not getting cards or anything like that. But for only 200 glory per arcane, that alone is worth it. He just denied all my green. That is really bad because that's literally like the only color I need right now. That and purple, and more so on the green. We could double 1 green plus 4. So we could put 5 green on the board and hope that lands. The chance of that happening would be ridiculously unlikely though. Alright, there goes all of our much needed mana. At least it gives us something to fill up now though. Because before we didn't really have anything to put it all in. Go move that down. He'll just do the brown. He'll get his Valkyrie. I think we lost. No! Well, everything's still alive, though barely. Hard choices. I guess we could take a blue into multiple blues. Nope, didn't get it. Take a blue and hope everything cleanses, and then double green and then somehow win. I could also take a skull right now, but it doesn't give us any mana. But I do want to take it just for disable. Oh, and he gets all the value out of it. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, and then he core rushes, then he wins. That is match. I do not believe we really need to play that out. Wrecked. Okay, let's go and over suggest the team slot. Go do an Oriali. No, Oriali. Haven't missed with Oriali for a little while. Let's go see what we can do with her. So, let's see if I can spell her name right. Is first thing. Oh yeah, it was It has that weird EU. So Oriali, obviously Valkyrie. Valkyrie, I pretty much almost always use with a Oriali. There are several other options that we could technically use if we wanted to for mana generation. Yeah, I'm just always a fan of Valkyrie. So we get our Valkyrie in. Could go over the Corvash version and just go all true damage. Crimson Matte, I actually am not going to need to go that version given the colors that we're using. So I am going to go for Corvash just so we can stun things. And it'll also have the capability, of course, of mana draining, which is pretty decent. And it has true damage on top of that. What do I think of a troop that diseases all enemies on 4 times or 5 times matches? That wouldn't be too bad. That would actually be an improvement to Plague if he did that instead of a stat reduction. That, or if they added more of a stat reduction to his ability, but then gave him that disease thing on his trait, actually make him probably a little bit more viable. But yeah, that would be perfectly fine. I don't think anything like that would be overpowered to any degree. Okay, so we still need one other troop. We do need a purple. I could always throw a Scion and just go a Scion, Corvash, Valkyrie, or Yali combo. There we could go like Miststalker or something for pickoffs. That or some kind of undead for boost ratio. I know I was doing that a lot. Like the double Merlantis. I did a Naga first slot, double Merlantis for Yali, and that ended up working out decently. But let's go try 2 different teams. We'll try this one first. Let's go to Scion variant and go for the very solid Scion Corvash combo. And this time we'll have a Valkyrie to be able to utilize with that, which would be nice. I'm just going to go red-yellow so we can go all in on that, since we also have the +1 purple and the +1 blue already passively from our traits. So there's no need to go +2 brown. Yeah, +2 red, +1 yellow, -1 brown. That we don't need. I will go for the standard red-yellow, though, for our Valkyrie team. Yellow also leaks into your Yali, which ends up working out pretty well. And yeah, and then we'll go test the Merlantis version. Can you make a war team after this? Sure, I can go do a war team after this. Remove that. War generally is not used as a first slot anymore, though. It's used more of a back line. So do keep that in mind. He's not durable enough to really be used as a frontline tank. Alright, we're getting a lot of moves. It's just those moves aren't really doing much yet. And now we'll be able to start doing something. So first things first, get Corvash so he doesn't entangle us, just in case. Because I do need the Scion to stay up. Get the Valkyrie down on green. And just move that down. Make a nice Corvash or something. And no, that will not be enough damage, but poison will take it down over time. We can also use Scion for cleanup. That or just go all in on your Yali at this point. So we're going to do that. Her Yali has the highest true damage full AoE. The problem is she also has the highest mana cost of any of them, which makes it a little bit annoying sometimes. But as you can see, true damage all the way down, and down it goes. Cauldron with War, I have done that in the past. Personally, I don't bother using it anymore because it just takes way too long, even if you use a fast troop to rush it along. I just feel like it always elongates for too long a duration of time. Also, speaking of that, let me go get the redeem code out. Speaking about a very long amount of time. Let me go get the redeem code. Let's see, which one should we go for here? Oops, wrong, misclick. Double misclick. A triple misclick? No. Let's just go get this one. Let's go do this random little code. So we'll go get this one. Click save and edit so we know that we marked it. Go put this over here so I can go post it to chat. Go put it right there so I know that I did it. Oh, and put in the interface. That would help. That would kind of help. Just a little bit. Who knows? Maybe. Just a very little bit would that kind of help. There we go. Little code. Also very short. So we'll go make that nice and centered. And there it is, a little code with a LITT77 code. Okay, so let's go get the link for that. Use this on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section. So you can just go there. And there you guys go. Let me post it twice. Just copy paste that, use it there, and go from there. It's for PC mobile only, unfortunately. Your invite code can be found at the normal location underneath settings and any cog button. And at the bottom it says whatever your invite code is. As far as... I need to go do... Oh, I need to go actually redeem it. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Let me go do that. Put in my invite code. Tab, I'm not a robot. And redeem. And there we go, successful. And that gives the normal reward of 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Let's see what we get from that 1 gem key. Also, that glare of that light. Wow, that is really blinding. Needs like a... I have my shades all the way down, yet the light is still somehow getting through. You can probably see it on my glasses from like that really, really bright glare over there. It's going like right into my eyes. Oh gosh. Let's see. The struggle of having a window there. It actually messes up with my green screen a lot. I'm really surprised it hasn't been messing up as much lately. I think it's because I ended up getting some lighting here, so that's a little bit more consistent, even though the window's there. So I think that's mainly what's keeping the green screen from going all crazy. I believe if I turn both of these off, let me see. Probably gonna mess up. No, it has in the past. Oh, now you can really see that glare of light. That was the glare of light I was talking about, right there. There it is. Now you can see it pretty easily. But no, actually the green screen's doing perfectly fine. I'll go turn back on. And the other one. Okay, anyways. Where were we? It's all over the place. Okay. I claimed the code. Let's go do the 1 gem key. And we get a Knight Coronet. Very good early game troop. Every single trait on it scales pretty well into mid game, which makes it kind of nice. Oh yeah, War Team. Let me go do War Team. Someone was suggesting for that. Let me go get that. Hello, you fricks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me go get a War Team out. Let's see. Which version should we go? I'm probably going to go the Apothecary Valk version. I've been running this a lot with it because it just works so good for getting the War, the basic mana he needs. And then you just throw like 1 attack buffer and then boom, you're good to go. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's get rid of the Apothecary. There's a different version I want to go run. War, oh yeah, Endless Conflict. Endless. Let's go get Queen Jezebel. That is wrong. Queen Jezebel. And let's see. What was the other thing I needed? Valkyrie, Queen Jezebel, War. What are we missing? We're missing purple. And that's it, right? Yeah, only purple. We need something. I wish Cauldron had purple in it. If Cauldron was like purple-green, that'd be so perfect for this team. Or purple-blue. Purple-blue would be so optimal. It is not, though. I didn't think of something that attack buffs. I guess Stargazer. We wanted to go rush it, but the problem with that is it removes blues, so we can't really go Stargazer. Okay, well, let's just check purples and see what we can find, if nothing else. Okay, so any purple in the game that doesn't deny blue. Need it in non-denial. Ideally something... Oh, you know what? That's perfect, actually. I didn't even try this with Azura yet, because she's kind of new. I didn't even think about using Azura in this team. Sweet. Okay, let's go see if this actually works out. I think it will. This could be really solid, actually, of a team. This might be one of the most solid war teams we've ever created now that Azura exists. I didn't think about that as a possible option until just now. I kind of forgot about the war teams and the fact that Azura could actually work with them, within them. Let's get a nice Valkyrie down there. Because that's a lot of mana generation from her. Yeah, it is actually pretty solid. Wow. The amount of solid that this is right now. Like, that is just insane. Okay, I think I found the most viable war team in the entire game. Have I ever said that war is useless? I might have lied now. He has purpose. That is... Okay, here's the true test. Does he win against a team that has all of the meta in it? He's like, okay, what should I do for a team? Let's not build the meta. Let's build literally the 4 meta troops. Actually, I don't even think they're as good in that kind of format. But he's literally using, like, what could be considered the 4 strongest defense troops in the game right now. Farstrel, Kraken, Wisp, and Queen Mab. You gotta be kidding me. It's like, yeah, let's just throw everything at it. Luckily, Wisp doesn't have his trait thing anymore, but still, that's gonna be annoying. Anyone enjoy Treasure Hunt? Did you hear you say they were changing it? They are going to be buffing the rewards in the future, yes, same as Arena. They are going to be reworking the rewards for both of the minigames into the near future. What specifically they're going to be changing it to, we do not know yet, but they are indeed going to be modifying the rewards from the from both of the minigames to be better for late game players and just more balanced to the current state of the game, because they have been balanced. Both of them have been balanced like so many times, but even after all of these balance changes, they have not really gone through enough to really be viable anymore. The only thing that either of them are really best for is Treasure Hunt is still the best way to passively gain gems, and what was the other one? And Arena is still the best way to gain trophies, due to the fact that they introduced Dawnbringer. Dawnbringer makes Arena the quickest possible trophy option in the game right now, though most people don't bother because it gives 0 rating, and very few people go literally just for trophies these days. I normally did try going for rating plus trophy or for some kind of other stat, rather than farming something for the guilds specifically. Okay, well, a little bit of a slower start this time around. I think we'll still be able to get it, though. As long as he misses. Ah, no! Why? Kraken. Okay, we might as well just retreat. This wasn't fair. It was using all the meta. Not fair, you cheated by using overpowered troops. That's not cheating, but... how annoying. Let's see. Let's go and, so anyone just getting here, the redeem code below is indeed working. Or should be, we just posted it. Go get the Valkyrie down. There we go. Now this is what we need to have happening every single time. Let's just keep this going. So first things first, we throw the buff. That brings you into one-shot range. We didn't kill you with that. We didn't get all of our mana back by doing that. We didn't use Valkyrie on the board that we just cleared. It then gives us all of our mana back again. Oh, we're frozen. Queen Map, stop existing. You're freezing and being too annoying on everything. What's kind of funny is the proposed... initially, they were going to make freeze even more overpowered than what it currently is when they initially were going to introduce it. But the community was like, no, that would be way too overpowered. What they originally were going to do is if any one troop was frozen on your entire team, every single extra turn would be disabled from you. That is originally what they were going to do for it. So let's say our Valkyrie was frozen. Even if we extra turned on blue, it would still stop us from extra turning. It doesn't matter what we did, we would lose our turn. Also, if Valkyrie was frozen and he was unfrozen, even though he gains an extra turn off his ability automatically unless frozen, that would still work, or that would still prevent it before if the Valkyrie was frozen but he wasn't. It was never actually released in this state, but it was the proposed, basically what they proposed when they were initially going to release it, which obviously would have been broken beyond all belief. Okay, we'll go for a poke right here. Yeah, this team is pretty solid, even through freeze. It's doing a decent amount of work. All we really need is one more queen. And that's match. And we got the cleanse there. Don't die, good. Sure, we're quite a bit away from actually dying to it. And, oh no! Never mind! That's actually closer than I thought, but we can just skull poke it if he doesn't kill us in the near future. Which is getting there. Could lose. It's gonna come down to a weird battle at this point. But all we need is one little poke. Problem is I can't get my mana. No! How? Why? Random skull from nowheres. Why do you do this to us? Yeah, no problem for the redeem code, everyone. No problem. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. I need to find a not queen map to use this against. I feel like against not queen map this would do amazing. Like the one battle we already did. Which I believe was against a queen map, but we ended up not getting frozen, which is why it seemed like we weren't up against a queen map. If we can just not get frozen, we'll be fine. It's a lot harder than just saying it, though. Okay, so we got it roll. Oh, no, we're already frozen. We almost had it rolling. But then we got the freeze, the dreaded freeze. Okay. Can't really get a burn down. We'll go try for the mana there. We do get to the last little bit. It's not enough damage to kill, but we can just let the burn split kill it. So we'll go for that, just to not interrupt anything. Oh, he still managed to free out of freeze. I can skull poke kill, and I believe I am going to go for that. Just to make sure it goes down. And then again, I could have just extra turned the thing. Oh well. Well, let's go lose our turn. And I do not have enough damage to kill him, but what we can do is kill that one. That will get the burns going down. And we'll take the double yellow. Let him do whatever there. Get maybe a Valkyrie down somewhere, so we'll go do that. Do that down. Get a bunch of mana. Give yourself a queen, yes. Queen, yes. And not enough mana yet. Never mind. Throw that down. Get a poke. The last little bit of our mana is for a Valkyrie. And it looks like we get a war in the process. And that is the match. That's what it's supposed to do. Gorgoltha, Famine, and Furnace Amnesia. Oh, I used to run that a little bit. I've actually stopped using Infernus altogether on a Yellow Guild War Day. I end up using Famine. I mean, not Famine. Wait, what is the alternative I normally use? Now I'm confused. Oh, I normally use Moloch because I found Infernus to take too long. That was the whole thing. Because I used to try it with Garuda, I used to try with Infernus. There was a couple different things I messed around with. But we ended up deciding on just kind of doing Moloch as the final resort. Yeah, we can go do the exact team you just suggested. I personally prefer it with Moloch, though, just as the better, or a quicker disable. Let's go try it. Gorgoltha. So make sure not to use this against a Corvash, because it gets disabled really hard against it. Silence can also be a bit annoying, but that you can't really deal with. Most teams can't really deal with it that easily. You normally just power it down with damage or make sure it stays drained on mana. And an Abbey. Also, generally you don't put your summoner all the way in the back, because it could die pretty easily to a Devourer these days, given how many Krakens are being ran. There are so many Krakens. And at one point in the game, third slot was pretty safe. These days, not even remotely close. Is that true? Not even close. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. We'll go take a yellow? I don't want to lean towards yellow, because he's about to take them all off the board anyways. I need to do something to deal with that. I don't have anything that directly will be able to address that, though. We'll go move that over. Get as much mana as we possibly can before he starts getting the drains down. And yeah, that's not going to get us too far. There's no drops we can do over there, so we'll just go all in on the Gorgoltha. And it looks like he's already going to drain us some. We're only going to get 1 mana from that. And now we're back down. If I give him a skull, he's just going to go and drain it all. So I basically have to take that skull without taking that purple, or else he drains us on the other one as well. Now we can take the brown Gorgoltha, go from there, though he's going to have a drain at that point. Oh no, good, he didn't go for it for whatever reason. I could take a skull to finish, and I believe I will, just so he doesn't get drains. Now we get a red storm, hopefully we'll get that. Yep, there we go, perfect. And now we just win. And that is match. And that'll give us a famine. And one more little poke will do it. And there we go, that is match. Why do I prefer Moloch on this team? Mainly because you need it sometimes when you fall behind. A Infernus wins quicker, but a Moloch wins more consistently. Because if you're up against a famine, or if you're up against smaller drains that can keep getting you pretty quickly, you're going to end up falling behind the curve of whatever they're doing. And once a famine starts getting ahead of you when you can't, you get the mana back, or if a Scion keeps draining you. It was kind of like a team that we're actually up against. The exact team that we're up against, under some circumstances, can actually completely destroy us pretty easily. Infernus has the higher damage output, which is nice. But if you end up getting into the stickier situations, you have no way of really getting out of it. Every single thing on your team has way too high of a mana cost. So things like Queen Mab and stuff like that, anything that has mana drain, tends to be really, really effective. And you'll eventually reach a point with it on some matches where you just can't get back, because there's just way too many things to have to feed with mana. And constantly keeping that much mana just makes you too huge of a target to mana burn and mana drain. Mana burn would be damage, mana drain would just be annoying because you would never get to cast, and then they'd eventually kill you out by other damage, depending on what they actually have. Oh, I should have threw a Furnace there, that was a weird move. Luckily we actually turned it. Actually, throwing Famine there would also have been fine. I'm doing really weird moves. But now that we did end up doing that, I might as well hold it for now. Just go straight into the Infernus there. So now that he's getting a little bit closer, I'm actually still going to go with another Infernus. We'll do that. And now we throw the Famine. And we'll do that on the highest HP that we can possibly hit. So we'll do that on you. Ideally you, but that's stealthy being in the way. Let's get a Gorgolfa down. There's an Infernus. And that's pretty much Team Wipe right there. Actually, it will. If it hits the right target. And it does. And down he goes. Yeah, it works out pretty well. What do I think of Humility, Baba Yaga, and Behemoth? That seems like a lot of humility for things that don't really need humility, for the most part. I guess it's okay. You don't use red. Might be okay to get a red in there and only use one humility unless you're really going all in on the commitment to trying to get him up with double yellow or a double humility loop. Yeah, Behemoth or Baba Yaga don't really gain much. Behemoth gains a little bit, I guess, or a little bit more than Baba Yaga. But Baba Yaga doesn't really make much sense in that team. I guess as a disable. If you're up against like double Wisp, Christine X Queen Mab or something, that would probably work out. Generally, that's one of the only few teams I really bother using her for. That and Famine Def teams, but Famine Def isn't really used that much these days. Some people still run it. I still run it occasionally for my defend teams and stuff. But I never actually run it for invading anymore. Alright, we'll just move this one over. We'll get the value right there. And what else? There's a skull over there. Just we'll take that. Just get it down and throw a solid Gorgolfa to the board. Let's get that down. There's still some Infernus value. Actually, let me take that first before we go for it. There's still some Infernus just for some little bit of poke damage. We are so close. Come on, Famine. You're almost there. Stop getting so many things. End your turn. There you go. Good job. Well, now they ended. You can just go take all that. Take that. Get down to Gorgolfa. Do that one over. And we'll do that one because there's a chance it will revive. But it didn't actually kill him all the way, unfortunately. So I'll just go explode. I'll give us Infernus. The split damage will kill it, regardless of where it targets. And it did waste a little bit of that targeting, unfortunately. But we have no control over where it actually goes. Right here, we'll go Famine. Probably the more annoying thing. And just get the explosion down. And that'll be enough for Infernus, which will also result in the win. And down it goes. So close, yet so far away from that next level. Hey, revenge battle. I can't not go for that. What should we go for? I just want to go use the war team against this guy. You know what? Let's just throw Krakens against the Krakens. We'll stick with the traditional. Wait, where are my Krakens? Oh yeah, I forgot. I overwrit them already. Rip. What's plan B then? We're taking them out. I really just need to keep a designated team for actually killing these with. And this is not one of them. I have so many teams that are good against not Queen Mab, but I barely have any made to bother with Queen Mab at all. Luckily, if we win before she ever freezes, it's like she's not even there. So, it's like she's not even there. There we go. Up, almost missed. What Queen Mab? See, now if we could just do that literally every Queen Mab battle, or just every battle in general, that'd be great. That would be perfectly fine. Humility is buffed by silence. Oh yes, he is. At a 4x boost ratio, you are correct. Oh yeah, so that would make sense with the Baba Yaga then. Even though she doesn't, or it doesn't gain as much of a benefit, but it gains the boost ratio, which would benefit everything else more, like the Behemoth. Yeah, I guess that does make sense then. Forgot about that, because there's so few silences in the game, or there were, that it never really got used. But yeah, he does, he already does so much without the boost ratio that, yeah, I kind of forgot about that. He's going to be really strong whenever they add a full AoE silence that doesn't automatically re-silence itself. Which might not ever happen because Silent One is, that's kind of the whole point of Silent One. But you never know. Okay, we have like no moves here. I'm trying to figure out what on earth I want to do, but nothing appears to be the answer. Alright, we're gonna move that over. Take ourselves some reds. And what else? What else? Yeah, we'll go Frail. Please don't miss. Got it. Good. We win. We throw this down. Get that rolling. Double the purples. Would you craft a Yali or a Fairish Ra? Definitely Fairish Ra, without a shadow of a doubt, if those were the two options. Almost every single time I will say Fairish Ra, but in that particular instance, it's super leaning towards Fairish Ra. I was like, can he end his turn? There we go. Yeah, Fairish Ra will just give you way more value. It gives you more souls. It has a single shot. Yali is really replaceable by basically everything that's coming next week. There are a multitude of options that you can get with event keys next week that'll be way, way better than any Yali will be. Yali I barely even touch, mainly because she's essentially the same as Crimson Bat and Draculus. She does more damage, but she also has a higher mana cost. And personally, I prefer the lower mana cost with mid-range damage than a high damage cost with high damage, because drain spells like Scion, anything with a full drain, Famine, stuff like that, Arcatris, all of them, Spider Queen, whenever they end up getting that drain, it ends up getting a lot more value than if you were to do, let's say, a Crimson Bat on your team, which has a lot lower of a mana cost. There's also a really cheap early game option coming next week, which I believe is a rare or an ultra rare, I forget which basically does true damage to all enemies, which is kind of like a little mini Crimson Bat. It's kind of cool. What's coming next week? Next week's going to be a Golvania events week with a troop that can transform into like 3 different troops. It like keeps transforming back and forth. It's kind of cool. It's kind of the same premise of Werewolf, except it's a different troop. So we'll see exactly how that ends up panning out as far as its viability. One of its transforms is a mini Crimson Bat. Another one, I forget what it is. Actually, both the other ones, I forget what it is, but it's some kind of like mid-range troop, and the other one's an actual legend as well. So there's definitely quite a bit of potential as far as what it can actually end up accomplishing for your team. It's also going to have the same benefit of that of a werewolf, in that you can use it as a frontline tank to basically just be a really, really tanky troop by constantly transforming it, which is also pretty cool. None of its abilities, I believe, gain mana back, which is something that is pretty bad. That it has relative to the werewolf, but it still should be a pretty interesting concept, and we'll see exactly how it pans out. But yes, it's Golvania event next week, so if you needed like Crimson Bat instead of a Yali, you can easily get one in event keys next week if you don't already have one. Also, red-blue trait stones, which you need for him, are also obtainable literally right now if you go to the glory packs for PC Mobile. It's underneath the weapon, and you are allowed to buy multiple of the weapon. You don't gain like multiples of the weapon, but you gain all the other rewards. And honestly, I feel like it would be worth it just for the Arcanes alone, which are red-blue, which is most notably, of course, used for a Crimson Bat or Merline if you want him. If you don't want to go save for a Crimson Bat next week. But definitely, if you don't already have some red-blue saved, red-blue arcanes, stock up on them while you can, because next week you'll need them for the Crimson Bat. Is Kraken a huge trait still triggering multiples from one board? No. It does not trigger multiple from one board, but it does trigger multiple per multiple Krakens, which is intended. So if you have, let's say, 2 or 3 Krakens on the team, let's say 2, it'll trigger it twice because 2 Krakens. It'll trigger once each. So if you have 3 Krakens, it'll trigger 3 times, once each. But as far as multi-triggering, yes, everything multi-trigger related has been fixed to its fullest degree. I have not seen it really do any kind of glitchy thing or anything like that. Unfortunately, they also fixed links and stuff like that to only trigger once. So things like Queen Aurora are pretty bad due to the fact that it gets limited so much, and a few other ones as well. But yeah, it's working correctly. Are you going to stream on Monday with the new troops? Yeah, of course. Every single one of the new troops. All 3 of the new Golvania/Halloween troops that are coming this Monday we'll be doing, including the Legends. And we'll have the key opening of it in the morning and kind of go over them briefly in the morning as well for the standard Monday morning video. But yeah, we'll be going over absolutely all of that stuff. Anyways, guys, I think I am going to be heading out for the day now. Still haven't ate anything yet. It's already almost like dinner time. But we will be back, of course, later in, how long is that? 6.5 hours from now, the standard 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be back to go do all of the Guild Wars and a dungeon and all that today. We will be back tomorrow, same time as always, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have 2 codes as well, and we'll be messing around with all the random various content. Mainly going to be messing around with, well, basically everything, but trying to focus it on more towards the merfolk stuff, mainly because, of course, Council just recently got it, so it would be good to give them some more ideas and stuff for teams. But we'll basically just be chilling, messing with other stuff, maybe do some treasure maps. Probably I'll go on the other account for a little bit too, since we do need to get a little bit more farming into the other account. But anyways, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I believe someone else just asked a question, though. Let me go answer that real quick. Hello, Memek, or Meki. Is it possible to get legends and mythics from summoning gems? Yes. These summoning gems that you find within the Soul Forge, that's not the Soul Forge. The summoning gems that you find within the Soul Forge do indeed drop legends and mythics. The chance of them are the same as gem chests, though, in which it is about a... Oh, what was the drop rate? About a... Oh, I forgot now. I think it was a 1% chance for legend and a 0.1% chance for mythic, I want to say. But yeah, it's really, really slim, but it is technically possible. Like, for example, if we were to open literally every single one of these, we'd probably get at least 1 legend. Actually, probably even more than 1 legend. There's also be a okay chance that we might get a mythic too. But yes, you'd have to open a very, very excessive amount of them. You'd have to open like several hundred to even have a slight chance of having a chance of mythic. So if you open like 50, you should pretty much get a legend every time. If you open approximately 50 or so, 50 to 100. But yeah, they are legends and mythics in here. They're just the same drop rate as gold keys. So since you open up a lot less of those than what you would normally open up gold keys, it's technically a lot harder to get higher rarity cards from them, but it is technically still possible. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming by. Glad you could join us. We'll be back, of course, later tonight. And yeah, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Hope you all have a wonderful Halloween, if I happen to not see you by then. That is a little bit of ways. And I'll see you all later. Thanks for stopping by, and goodbye. Also, make sure to use the redeem code if you're still here. Should still be active, I would assume. But yeah, definitely make sure to use that. Thanks, guys, and have a good week. Goodbye.